Onward, Book 2. 10 days. Let's go. Book 2. Reflections. Ages gone past, Cosmos of the Demigod. Day 1. 10 days. I didn't know it then, but I would spend 10 days in the past with Hikaru. I stumble forward and almost run headfirst into a tree. I hold my hands out just in time to stop myself from hitting it. I lean against the tree and take a deep breath to steady myself, and as I regain myself, I begin to take in my surroundings. I'm in a forest? Pushing myself away from the tree, I nearly stumble once again. What am I wearing? I run my hands over the smooth fabric, tracing the beautiful cherry blossom pattern. A kimono. It's lovely, but how? Either Galen or Haruka must have somehow given it to me. I barely know how to wear one. Being overseas for so much of my life didn't give me too many chances to learn. I sigh. I wonder if this has any magical properties. It doesn't seem like it's anything special, but knowing Galen, well, it's hard to tell either way. At least it's not a dress made of tentacles, I guess. I sigh again. What am I even thinking? I don't know where that came from. Tentacles? Okay. The weirdness of everything is finally getting to me. If I was sent here, that means Hikaru is here somewhere. So I better start looking before it gets too dark to see anything. I start my trek through the forest. The wooden sandals quietly thump against the earth, barely audible in the symphony of the evening forest. My walk isn't as easy or as fast as I would like it to be. The ground isn't particularly even, with rocks and tree roots everywhere. There's hardly anything one might call solid ground. I carefully step forward, and with each step I take, I feel myself wobble. Time passes, and after a while, it feels like I've barely made any progress walking like this. Oh, anytime. I got my little cozy emo. Oh, I have new cozy stuff. Oh, why didn't that work? Cozy. I tuck you all in.
That's what it's like. It's very cozy. like rosy.
Yeah. Settle in. Grab a nice drink. Settle in. I'm starting to feel frustrated when I feel my foot catch on something. I try to put my leg out to stop myself from falling somehow, but unused to the lack of mobility, I fall entirely forward instead. Straight into someone's waiting arms. I look up to see that someone just happens to be Hikaru. At least, I think it's Hikaru. His hair is long and he's wearing very different clothing than what I'm used to seeing him in. But as we stare into each other's eyes with surprise written on our faces, I become certain that it is him. I'd know those eyes anywhere. Lady Shizuka? No, your eyes. You cannot be. I'm startled at hearing Hikaru call me that, but suddenly, it all clicks. Of course, I should have known. The woman he kept saying I reminded him of, it has to be Shizuka. How do you know Shizuka? Is she here? I could ask the same of you. Hikaru, did you find what the noise was? Ah. Who I have to guess is some version of Shizuka herself comes into view. Hikaru quickly lets go of me and steps back. He looks at Shizuka. I found only this strange woman stumbling about. She mentioned your name with familiarity. Do you know who she is? No. I stare at Shizuka with a plethora of emotions I can hardly identify. It's like seeing my own face reflected back at me, but my mother's too. This woman looks so much more innocent than Shizuka, though. I don't quite know how to process being face to face with the woman who would one day curse me. But why is she in Hikaru's past? And why the hell are we all dressed like this? Shizuka's confused face becomes serious as she seems to scrutinize every aspect of me. With both of them staring at me like I have 3 heads, I begin to feel uncomfortable. Maybe I should explain things. Well, that's gonna be kind of hard. Explain your mission. Tell Shizuka you're her daughter. She deserves to know nothing. Will they believe me if I'm like, okay, hi, I'm a time traveler. Crazy. You are a sorceress and my mom. You're my mom, okay? And you cursed me. Yeah. Also, this is my professor, and I want to bang him. I mean, I guess. I mean, explain my mission, I guess. Good morning, Dolphin. I'm great. How are you? You see, I came from a different timeline to save Hikaru. To save Hikaru? Shizuka looks at Hikaru. Is something bad going to happen to him? I hesitate, then nod. This is finally my Hikaru, isn't it? That's what Haruka said. I mean, the Hikaru from my timeline. Yes, actually. Will you listen to my story? This could be a trick, Lady Shizuka. I don't see the harm in letting her speak. She seems like a curious young woman. Thank you. I'm really not trying to trick you. I have no reason to do that. I searched my thoughts for the best way to convince them without simply freaking them out. Good luck! I would rather avoid getting attacked by these two, if possible. Oh, of course. I hold out my hand and summon Haruka's earring to my palm, holding it out for Hikaru to see. Where did you obtain this? From your mother. As the words leave my lips, I realize the unfortunate implications they may have. I rush to add an explanation before Hikaru can decide to draw his weapon on me. She gave it to me to help convince you. Hikaru wordlessly stares down at the earring but doesn't take it. Finally, he speaks. Even if that were true, my mother does not possess time travel abilities. It wasn't her that sent me here. It was... I hesitate to speak his name. Is it okay to tell anyone about him? Well, he didn't say not to, and I'm kind of getting vibes that Hikaru might just cut me down if I don't convince him soon. With both Shizuka and Hikaru's piercing stares on me, I break down and say it. It was a god named Galen. Do you know... Galen? Galen? Well, I guess that definitely means they know him at least, though Hikaru doesn't sound too happy about it. I think back to how Hikaru reacted to Galen in the other timelines, which was pretty much all of fuck you, and he's annoying. I wonder what kind of bad blood they have between them. I look at Hikaru, who seems to be practically pouting in thought. I look at Shizuka instead and force myself to continue. Yes, Galen, the god of chaos sent me here. In the future, Hikaru. Once again, I hesitate. Is it okay to tell him the future? I don't know. Won't that, mess it up or something? Then again, I'm pretty sure I've already messed it up by just being here. I feel frustration at Galen for not telling me literally anything before shoving me off. Yeah, I don't know the rules. But an image of the crazy goddess comes to mind and nervousness grips at my heart. I'm almost afraid to even think her name, in case that somehow summons her to me. No, that's silly. She can't possibly find me like that, can she? I wonder what happened when I left. I wonder if he kept her there. He has been oddly quiet. Are you always this concise? In the future, what will happen to me? Hey, I'm doing my best here. I just don't want to mess anything up, alright? Hikaru seems surprised at my directness, but I ignore his reaction and continue on. Hikaru will encounter a goddess named Sunika, and he'll have his soul blown apart trying to protect me from her. Sorry. His soul will be scattered across time, clinging to other Hikarus, and I'm hoping this is the last place I've got to go to find them, to wake him up and save him. The Weaver of Time. How far in the future are you from? Are you... Wow. A loud inhuman screech shatters the calm atmosphere, cutting Hikaru off in the middle of his sentence. I can barely blink before 3 humanoid creatures jump out at us from the bushes. They surround us from all sides and rush at us. Their movement seems strange. They're fast with how they move around us. Yet they themselves seem stiff and awkward. But I have no time to study them further. The 3 grotesque creatures rush at Suzuka. But before she can so much as lift a finger, Hikaru jumps out before her with a fierce yell. Sword already drawn, he cuts one of them down quickly. But the two others manage to dodge out of the way, jumping back out of reach of his blade. The creatures and Hikaru lock into some wild dance, slashing at each other, hits barely grazing the opponent. I'm mesmerized, almost, but out of the corner of my eye, I see movement. I turn to see two other creatures rush at Suzuka from behind. She doesn't seem to notice as she watches Hikaru take down another one of the creatures. I hardly have time to think about it. I throw up a glowing orange barrier around her. Just as they lunge at her, the creatures impact with my defenses. Unexpectedly, however, as soon as they hit my barrier, they screech horribly and burn away into ash in an instant. What? I drop my barrier from the sheer force of surprise at the fate of these creatures. I hear Hikaru take down the last one, and yet I can't stop staring at where my barrier held just moments ago. In the end, the fight ends so quickly that Hikaru and I were the only ones who got any sort of action. I think we had better continue this conversation elsewhere. The forest is no place for dialogue. Clearly. My heart pounds away at my ribcage. What were those things? They were Jiki Ninki, though they only eat human corpses, so it's strange for them to have attacked us like that. I must wonder if some outside force is at work here. Outside force? Maybe the crazy-ass goddess that's following me? Something may be corrupting the residents of this forest, turning them feral. I glance over at Hikaru, who seems deep in thought, as we walk out of the forest. I can't help but think back to how quickly Hikaru moved in to protect Shizuka. How am I even supposed to feel about that? Jealous and annoyed, envious but understanding, angry and resentful toward Shizuka. We probably are. A little bit of all of these things. Jealous and annoyed. Actually, you know what? I would be confused more than any of these. I'd be like, what the hell is going on? I don't know. Envious but understanding. I mean, we still are very, like, what the fuck towards this woman, probably. Let's just, yeah. Angry and resentful. Bitter. I don't get it. Why does Hikaru act like such a horrible woman? Oh, why does Hikaru like such a horrible woman? What does he even see in her? I wonder if he still would if I told him the horrible things she's done. I don't believe that Shizuka deserves someone like Hikaru protecting her. A thought briefly flashes through my mind and I almost want to entertain it. For a moment, I considered telling him about the ritual. I sigh. No, he would hardly believe me. And even if he did, I'm nothing to him in this time. Somehow, even more so than in the future. As tempting as it may be to simply tell him, I decide against it. If only for the fact that it might just make him pissed off and to trust me more. By the time we get out of the deep forest, night has already fallen. The moment we finish setting up camp, Hikaru begins to throw question after question at me. He asks 5 before I can even open my mouth to answer 1. I try to listen to his questions, to make some sort of sense of it all, but I'm so tired. My mind is barely registering any of it. Hikaru. Shizuka stops his questions with a single word. At that, I might have normally felt something, but more than anything right now, I just want to close my eyes. Today was a long and eventful one. I believe that we are all due for some rest. Wouldn't you say so? I'm sorry. It seems you have us at a disadvantage. It appears that you are familiar with our names, but we do not know yours. It's hella weird being asked my own name by my mother. But nothing is ordinary about this situation anyway. Oh, it's Kate. My name is Kate. Ah, what a beautiful name. Then Kate, is it okay with you if we rest first? Before any further questioning can take place. She briefly glances at Hikaru at that last part, as if waiting for any objections. This is Hikaru. That's who we're coming back in time to save in the future. Oh yeah, I don't mind. Some rest would be good. Oh, As I say that, I realize that I have nothing to sleep on. Hikaru sighs. You can use my bedroll to sleep. I feel awkward at the sudden offer, but I nod my thanks. As weird as it feels, I do feel grateful for it. Hikaru lies it out for me, and I immediately lie down on it. I try to get comfortable, but the bedroll offers little to no cushioning. It's basically the same as being on the ground. And yet, I find that my body doesn't care as I slowly start to drift off. Yes, he is. He's very cute. Being outside of time has left me with no sleep for who knows how long. So right now, even the ground feels as comfortable as the softest of beds. Day 2. Kate's log, day 2. Where the hell am I? When I wake up in the morning, I find that Hikaru is already awake, and all I can see is his back and long hair silhouetted against the sunrise. I catch myself staring at him for longer than necessary, just as he turns around and notices me. Did you ever go to sleep last night? No, my body does not require sleep every night. Oh, is that because you're a demigod? Yes and no. Meaning, yes, my body requires less sleep than normal humans because of the god within me. But not all demigods are the same. We all have different abilities and needs. Some demigods are closer to humans and some are closer to gods. Which are you? Some gods would say I am closer to being a human. Humans would say I am closer to being a god. It does not really matter in the end. I am what I am. Alright, Popeye. I am what I am. Then why do you look that way when you talk about it? Ads are gonna start in like 15 seconds, so you know. Yeah, and a demigod. He's a snack. Shizuka steps out of the bushes then, and only then do I realize that she has been gone the entire time. Everyone was already up except for me. They must think I'm lazy. I avoid Shizuka's eyes, feeling all at once uncomfortable, knowing that it's my mother before me. Everything happened so fast the day before that I still haven't processed my feelings. Hell, I have no idea how I'm supposed to be feeling right now. Perpetual panic and anxiety, probably. The only mother I have ever known is finally here before me again, but she's also the woman who will eventually curse me. And on top of it, I still don't know why she's here or who she is to Hikaru. Did you sleep well? She holds out a rice ball. You can eat this for breakfast. Why do you care? Thank you. Like, she doesn't know what's going on, this Shizuka, so we won't be just, like, immediately rude. It's complicated. No, I'm fine. I look at the rice ball in her hand, and as if on cue, my stomach growls like a dying beast. I feel my cheeks heat up as Shizuka simply smiles down at me. Thank you. I notice that Hikaru was watching the interaction carefully, so I reach out and take the rice ball from Shizuka without further comment. As I bite into it, I quickly realize how truly hungry I was. How long has it been since I've had any food? A question that I can't answer for myself. With the recent events and me hopping between timelines and time, I can't even begin to guess how long it's been. Would you be willing to finish your story from yesterday now? Yes, though I've pretty much told you all of it already. I need the soul fragments that this Hikaru has, I think. But I'm not entirely sure how this works, since you are that Hikaru from my timeline. I put a hand to my head, gently rubbing my temple. Galen didn't exactly give me a detailed description on what to do, and sometimes he answers when I call out to him, sometimes he doesn't. He hasn't since I got here. How far in the future? Huh? How many years in the future does all this happen? When are you from? Oh. Suddenly I feel very awkward, because I don't actually know. What do you mean you don't actually know? Just what year is it? Galen didn't even tell you that much? Why am I not surprised? The year is 1482. I feel like I've been hit in the face with a ton of bricks. My heart drops to my stomach. What? Surely I couldn't have heard that right. 1482. Our Mikado is Emperor Go-Tsuchi Mikado, and our Shogun is Ashikaga Yoshihisa. Sorry, I'm butchering those, I'm sure. Do either of those names sound familiar? Yeah, maybe from history books. God, how old is Hikaru then? From the look on your face, I'm guessing that they are known to you. Are you perhaps further in the past than you expected? I nod numbly. I'm from the year 2016. Are you really telling the truth? I truly have that long of a life ahead of me? I guess so. When I meet you, you don't look much different than you do now. In my time, you look like you're in your late 20s, I think. I am already 23 now. How does this happen? Perhaps it has something to do with the Weaver of Time. Or perhaps you really just do live that long naturally. The lifespan of demigods does vary, but that is over 500 years from now. I feel my heartstrings being tugged at as Hikaru's voice fades off into nothing. Why does he look so sad? I bet most people would love to live that long. I look at Shizuka. Maybe it's because of her. But she's immortal. Still, maybe he doesn't know that. Ugh, this is so confusing. The gods must have known all this, yet they didn't tell anyone. So, you are here just to collect these soul fragments then? Yes. I mean, I'd love to change time and stop it from happening in the first place. But with a time goddess involved, I doubt that's an option even if I could. So I'm just trying to repair things, trying to save him. I look at Hikaru, then away. To save you, because you saved me. I just need you to give me one of your fragments, I think. As silence falls between the three of us, Hikaru sighs after a few quiet moments. Even if all this insanity is somehow true, I'm afraid I cannot help you. What? Why? I do not know how to give these soul fragments to you. Soul magic. That sounds like the realm of the divine. For the most part, all I know how to do is fight with my divine powers. But the other Hikarus knew. They were able to pull it out somehow on their own. Ayo?
That's what she said.
Sorry. Then maybe those Hikarus had studied it further. Wow, sassy. If I had needed access to the knowledge, I certainly would have. Either way, I cannot help you. I'm left sitting there stunned as Hikaru begins to pack up everyone's belongings. What the hell? What am I supposed to do now? How am I going to save Hikaru? Galen, what am I supposed to do? I fight the urge to tear up as I feel Shizuka watch me. If you have no way back and no way forward, then why not come with us for now? Perhaps the answer will become clear in time, or Galen will finally answer you. I look at Shizuka in surprise at the kindness in her voice and the gentle smile on her face. My heart squeezes involuntarily, and I look down at my hands with a frown. How dare she show me kindness now? What's this? You're bleeding again? Out playing with that awry boy again, no doubt. He's going to get you into so much trouble one day. This is the 7th time you've come home bleeding. I'm sorry, Mommy. I don't know I ruined the dress you got me, but Taku is... Mom reaches out and gently strokes my head. I know. I'm sorry. Takumi is your important friend. I just wish for you to be safe. I wish there was a way I wish there was some way that you could remain forever unharmed. What? I feel so confused about everything. The odd dream, no, flashback of something Mother had said when I was still in elementary school. What does she mean by that? Why am I remembering this now? Hikaru puts his bedroll on his back and looks at me. There are no other good choices, and it seems you can fight at least, right? So you can help us out with what we are doing for now. His voice snaps me out of my daze. And what are you two doing? We travel around and help those that need it. No more, no less. We are on our way to a village now, about 1 to 2 days travel from here. I do not know what Japan is like in 500 years, but threats abound here. So you will need to fight. I see. Well, it's not like I have any other choice. Damn you, Galen. Sorry, I feel like this is a little loud. Let me try. Well, it's not like I have any other choice. Damn you, Galen. But I am curious to see what Japan was really like at this time. And this is my chance to get to know Hikaru more, and more about my mother, too. I never dreamed I would have an opportunity like this. Alright, I'll do my best to help. With all that settled, we head out to the road. Holding only our belongings and many questions in my mind, we begin our strange journey together. As we move through the paths, I'm beginning to seriously respect my ancestors for traveling. Not only on such unwieldy paths, but in such terrible shoes for walking. Man, what I wouldn't give for a pair of good sneakers right now. Already most of a day has passed. Most of our traveling has consisted of Hikaru asking me questions about the future. I sure hope there isn't some kind of prime directive law of non-interference crap amongst gods. Because if so, I've just totally broken it. Well, if there is, then they should tell me, okay? I think back to how different Hikaru seemed while he asked me questions as we walked. Could you tell me about the future? Sure. What do you want to know? Everything. I mean, just what things are like. How they are different. I can't help but giggle. Well, a lot of things are different. I mean, I only know what Japan was like in the past because of history books, and I'm not sure how accurate those are. But, there are proper roads and cars, for one. There's actual technology like smartphones. He doesn't know what a smartphone is. We dress completely differently. He doesn't know what cars are either. We dress completely differently would be the thing he could probably relate to the most. Well, we dress totally different. We don't wear so much clothing, and it's way easier to put on and move than traditional Japanese clothing. I see. How do you keep your modesty then? Modesty? I hate to tell you. Well, it's not like you go around naked. Then again, some people practically do. Well, those of us who want to keep our modesty still cover everything. The clothes are just lighter. That makes sense. Improvements to the way we dress would help advance humanity overall. Oh, and we have lots of different kinds of shoes. They're way more comfortable and protective. Though people still wear shoes like these too. I see. It all sounds amazing. To think that one day I'll see it for myself. Shizuka chuckles. I think he should be a scholar instead of a warrior. Maybe in some other life, I would rather help save lives. In a small, quiet voice that only I just barely seem to hear, Hikaru adds, I would like to be a hero to someone, someday. Aw, you are, buddy. You are. Aww. I had no idea Hikaru had such a curious side. He's a teacher, what do you mean? It's cute. I guess it makes sense though. Yeah, he did choose to be a professor. I should tell him. Whoa! I suddenly trip over my own feet and stumble to the ground. Well, I almost do anyway. Hikaru's fast reflexes managed to catch me by the clothes before I hit the ground. I hover above the ground for a moment, my nose almost touching it before I'm suddenly pulled upright. I stumble backward and Hikaru's large hand briefly touches my back to steady me. He sure isn't gentle, jeez. Oh, who wants to be gentle? What? I mean, what? Are you alright? Yeah, thanks. I'm getting really tired and I can't see well. Not without my glasses anyway. I can't see without my glasses. That's gonna be an acrobat. I suppose they didn't have them back then. Couldn't they have left me with mine? Plus, I'm not used to walking in these shoes. I don't know how you guys do it. Shall we stop for the night then? It was supposed to take us 8 days to get to Sina's village. We won't make it for another few days at this rate. We've already been on the road for 7. We probably could have gotten there tonight or tomorrow morning. I can't help but feel miserable at what Hikaru is implying. It's because of me. But hey, it isn't my fault. No, it's not. I just don't have the energy to argue though. I'm not sure what else I can do. I'm doing my best. Hikaru doesn't look at me. He only folds his arms. Shizuka begins walking, leading this time. Come, I believe there is a good spot that we can rest for the night nearby. Before long, Shizuka leads us to the promised spot and we set up camp for the night. I'm so tired that I end up passing out before I can even feel guilty for taking Hikaru's bedroll again. Day 3. Kate's log, Day 3. This is probably the most embarrassing and unexpected moment of my life. We've been walking for what must be hours now. I seriously miss my phone. I mean, they don't even have watches here. Actually, correction. We haven't all been walking. I, in fact, have been riding on Hikaru's back the entire time. I feel so lame right now. I remember back to this morning. Hey. Ah! I jumped back from Hikaru, who was crouching down, peering into my sleeping face. Ah, good. So you were awake. Not before you... We need to go. As I mentioned last night, we are already behind schedule. Hikaru stands up and turns away from me. You're going to be riding me today. Ayo?
That's what she said.
What? Hikaru turns around. Have you never ridden piggyback before? Oh. Oh. Damn. Come on, wash up so we can get moving. Wait, what? A few minutes later, I had climbed onto his back and we set off through the forest once again. I feel miserable in about 10 different ways because of it. Lazy, ashamed, embarrassed, frustrated. The list goes on. I try not to think too much about the actual feeling or the muscles I can feel through his clothes or... Not like, wow, okay, sorry. I do have legs, you know. I mumble for what's probably the 5th time. You do, but legs are only useful if they work well. Oh. Mine do, yours don't. Wow. I can't argue with him because he does in fact have a point. Still, I end up pouting at the situation I've been put in. I'm not some kind of helpless girl. I doubt that you are, but still, you should not worry. I am a demigod. This does have some benefits, not least strength and endurance outside of normal human capacity. Taking advantage of that is not a bad thing. Right. I still feel like a literal burden though, completely useless. I can't tell if it's just me, or if everything he says is starting to sound like some kind of innuendo. Is this the real Hikaru? Yo, thanks for being here, Espresso. Hope you're having a good stream. Espresso's streaming right now. I can understand why you might not like it. In that case, would it make you feel better if you spent your time learning? Learning? Yes, you are a sorceress, are you not? I haven't actually explained exactly who I am yet, but it seems like Shizuka figured at least some of it out. Does she know everything? My mother always seemed to know everything all at once. She is like a really powerful sorceress, so. But since I'm pretty sure omnipotence would have been passed on through the ritual, I doubt she does just yet. I mean, how do you know? You're pretty sure? How? I don't want to kill the mood by replying to her question by saying, yeah, I am a sorceress, because you passed your powers and curse on to me and kind of ruined my life. So for now, I just nod. Then I'd be happy to pass down some of what I know while we travel. I have lived a very long life, so I think you'll find my knowledge useful. And that's how I ended up with an hours-long piggyback ride on my professor's back, learning magic with my mothers in 1480s Japan. In all honesty, I don't think I'm able to actually process everything that's happening. But seeing as Galen and Haruka still haven't said a word back to me, I've got no choice but to keep rolling with it. We take breaks every now and then, though I can tell it's more for Shizuka than Hikaru, who seems impossibly unfazed at having to carry me. During the breaks, I actually practice spells with Shizuka when possible, and before I know it, the 3rd day has passed. Day 4. Kate's log. It's the night of the 4th day. It passed without much event. We've stopped at a beautiful mountain lake to rest. Hikaru has occasionally started commenting on our lessons with little remarks like, really? And interesting, and has even cracked some jokes. It doesn't seem like the things Shizuka has been teaching me were things he knew either, so I can hear the wonder in his voice. He really is such a closet nerd. Probably gets along really well with Tatsuya. Oh, why didn't that work? What? Oh, hold on. My stream deck's not working. Ruin the moment. Hold on. Oh, there we go. That's just slow. Ruined the moment. He really is such a closet nerd. Probably gets along really well with Tatsuya. There you go. At remembering Tatsuya's name, memories of my timeline and all the timelines I destroyed come rushing back. Sitting on the ground now, I'm in front of a campfire. I hold my head. No, this isn't the time to think of that stuff. I've got my mission. I know what I'm supposed to do. Sort of. I have to hold out hope that I can fix all of that if I just finish this first. Hikaru comes walking back into view just then. He and my mother had gone off somewhere to do God knows what. Oh, Ayo. I still don't quite know what's going on with those two. But this time, Shizuka isn't with him. Hikaru glances at me on the other side of the campfire. He sits down, one leg flat and an arm resting on his knee. He looks into the fire, and my breath catches in my throat at the way the light and shadow dances across his serious face. Where's Shizuka? In truth, I am afraid of the answer, afraid of what they might have been off doing. But I can't stand the thought of just sitting there admiring his handsome face at night, like some creeper. Oh, Lady Shizuka has left for now. I do not know where. Sometimes she does this, though. Since we are just outside of the village wall, though, she should be safe. Suddenly, Hikaru's eyes snap to mine, his gaze intense. I trust her completely. I see. An awkward silence falls as the fire crackles between us. Well, awkward for me, anyway. Hikaru seems content enough to have a staring match with the fire. He doesn't look happy, though. I wonder what to do or say as the minutes stretch on. Thanks to Hikaru carrying me, for once I don't feel tired enough to sleep just yet. I'm not even sure if Hikaru has slept once in the past few days. He is starting to look a little tired, I think. Come to think of it, this is the first time we've been alone. Ever, really. My mind helpfully corrects me. I think back in a flash to Sunika appearing in Hikaru's apartment, and then to being trapped in the space between worlds with what I thought was Hikaru's corpse. I shiver violently and Hikaru looks at me. Cold? No, not exactly. Hikaru continues to look at me, his curious eyes penetrating my already weak defenses. I sigh. Kazama? Why do you call me that? Huh? Because it's your name, right? Perhaps in the future, but I am only Hikaru here. Really? Then is it alright to call you that? I notice that you call Lady Shizuka by her first name, as if you're familiar with her. I have no right to be elevated any higher than her. A simple yes would have sufficed, but... Alright then. Hikaru, would you mind if I told you more about what happens to you? I would welcome it, but I would also like to know your relationship with Lady Shizuka. You may not like that explanation. I see. I know I am protective of her, and I know that I can be biased about her. But still, it is the mark of a mature man to be able to listen without judgment. So I will do my best to patiently hear you out to the end. Very honorable. Then I'll tell you my story. And so I tell Hikaru everything, starting from the ritual all the way down to me coming to the past. He only stops me once. Your mother? Lady Shizuka is your mother? I nod. Sort of. I'm not really real anyway. Just a copy of the real Shizuka. What? He's like, what? After that single interruption, he listens to me without a word. But despite his complete silence, not once do I feel like he's not giving my words his utmost attention. As I finish telling my story, I finally come to realize that tears are freely streaming down my face. Oh. I reach to scrub them away, but Hikaru's hand is on my face, already wiping them away for me. Aww. He drops his hand and takes mine in his instead. You have been through a lot of suffering. I am sorry. You were thrown into this. Hikaru seems as if he's just in as much pain as me, and I'm surprised for a moment, but then I remember. No, he really is a kind person. He always has been. When I first saw you, for the first time, Hikaru seems as if he's struggling for words. I did not know what to think. Trusting you was difficult. You looked like Lady Shizuka, and yet different. I could tell immediately there was something different about you. You seemed familiar to me in a way that she never has. Why is that? He sighs. That is why it is impossible for you to be just a copy. That logic... I laugh despite myself. I'm not sure if I can fully understand or agree with that. Would it help you then if I told you that I can see souls? Kate, I can see that you have your own soul. It burns brilliantly and shines in a completely different way than anyone else that I have ever seen. So please, do not say that. Never think of yourself as anything less than the beautiful soul that you are. You have overcome so much. You have sacrificed so much, just to stay true to the path you have chosen. I am sure there are many more trials ahead in the future, but you must never forget how far you have come already. Ooh. But I don't know if sacrifice was the right path, but ruining everyone's lives for one person, oh, that might make him feel like shit because he's the person. But I don't know if it was the right path. Thank you, but I don't know if I chose the right path. I hurt so many people. I messed up so badly. No matter how hard I tried to do the right thing, I still hurt people I care about. It was Sunika who chose to hurt them. She wanted to hurt you, and so she did it through them. Her own pain and the things that she cannot accept misguide her into evil actions. You are simply the person who was entangled and pulled into her twisted plans. It has nothing to do with you. It was not your fault. Oh no, not your fault.
It's not your fault. Don't fuck with me, alright? Don't fuck with me, Sean. Not you. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. At this, I can no longer hold back my emotions. Why are you so kind? It's not fair. I manage to say in between sobs. Hikaru pulls me close, letting me cry into his shoulder. Everyone has their own burdens to bear, our own challenges to overcome. The regrets we carry from our actions can feel as if they will suffocate you. But if you can remember how far you have come all while looking ahead to the future, looking toward whatever it is you are fighting for, then I know you can find whatever it is you are seeking, or achieve any dream that you are reaching toward. Hikaru sighs and moves away from me. Hi, Batman. Thank you for telling me your story. I have much to contemplate before we enter the village tomorrow. You should rest now. Feeling worn out from all the tears and recounting my sad tale, I don't argue when Hikaru unrolls the bed for me. I lie down and he sits cross-legged in front of the fire. The flames reflecting in his aqua-colored eyes is the last thing I see before I fall into a deep sleep. Alright, halfway through. Day 5. When I awake the next morning, Shizuka is already back from wherever it is that she went. They're packing up our things, but I notice that Hikaru seems unusually down as he does. Shizuka seems to notice as well, as she stops what she's doing and stares at his hunched-over form. Did something happen last night? I watch as Shizuka leans over slightly and rests a hand on Hikaru's shoulder. He stops what he's doing and looks up at her, his expression unchanging. The moment bothers me somehow, and I look away. I still don't know what they are, but how can I just ask that? Do we really want to know? I realized I had half hoped that telling Hikaru what she had done would change his opinion of her somewhat, but it doesn't seem like it has. I don't even know why I care so much anyway. She was there before me, so it's only natural. Ugh, why am I getting like this? I'm here to save Hikaru, that's all. But my mind betrays me and forces me to remember how kind he was to me last night. But if you can remember how far you have come while looking ahead to the future, to whatever it is you are fighting for, then I know you can find whatever it is you are seeking, or achieve any dream you are reaching toward. Aww. I'm not seriously getting feelings for this guy, am I? I think we caught feelings a long time ago, but yeah. I clasped my hands to my cheeks suddenly. No. Why is my face so hot? You can't be serious, Kate. Just because he was nice to you once. There's a part of me that answers that wasn't when these feelings, whatever they are, actually started. Right. But I shut down that train of thought immediately and clenched my fists. It'd be a seriously bad idea to fall for a guy like Hikaru. Besides that, he won't even remember any of this if I succeed. Things will go back to the way they always were. There's just no way this can end well for me, so I need to just focus on the task at hand for now. I nod to myself and force a smile. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Get his soul fragments, fix all the mess I've caused, and get back to my normal life. With all Shizuka's taught me, I'm sure I won't need the extra classes anymore either. With that decided, I get up to join my two strange companions. We're finally headed into the village this morning. After days of walking and seeing nothing but forests and precious few other travelers, I'm really excited to visit a town. Hikaru, however, hasn't said a word all morning. His face has been incredibly grim, even for him. He didn't even put up a fight when I told him I could at least walk up the steps by myself. Mother Shizuka has been quiet as well. As the endless steps progress, I find myself finally unable to stand the silence. Hikaru, walking slightly behind both of us, merely grunts in response. Are you feeling alright? Another grunt. I can't tell if it's supposed to be good or bad, and I sigh. Right then. So much for heartwarming talks bringing us closer. Maybe he just doesn't want to talk right now, it's fine. I decided to shut up, since apparently everyone prefers that this morning. Yeah, probably a good call. Read the room, yes. You'd think they'd be cheerful about getting to their goal after traveling so long, but maybe there's something I don't know about going on. Could it have to do with why Shizuka left by herself last night? Or something to do with the town itself? I rack my brain trying to think of all the possibilities, but in the end, without any more information, I can't really come to a conclusion. Also, hi Batman, I'm good. I waited to answer your question after the ads. How are you doing? About halfway up the steps, or what I pray is halfway up the steps, we sit down to eat some lunch. I'm not sure I've ever had this many rice balls in my life. At least this combined with all the walking should have helped me lose a few extra pounds, I guess. Shizuka smiles at me as if she knows what I'm thinking. We will be able to get some more food in the town. I'm sure this must have been I'm sure this must have been difficult for you to get used to. I'm still not entirely used to Shizuka comforting me, but I nod. What I really can't wait is to eat some meat. Any kind of meat, really. Or vegetables. Ugh, both sound so good right now. Shizuka giggles, and I have to school my face so my mouth doesn't just drop open. I completely understand. The first meal after a long travel is always the best. I look over at Hikaru, who would have normally joined the conversation by now, but he looks to be deep in thought. I glance over at Shizuka, and she seems to be feeling the same way I do. Maybe she doesn't know what's going on either. Ugh, these two are so secretive. Not that I'm much better, I guess. I decide to break the silence with a neutral question. So, can you tell me anything about the village up ahead? You said it was called Miyazawa? Hikaru looks up at me then, and then immediately goes back to brooding. In truth, I do not know much about it. I've only visited briefly once. I only know that they need assistance with some kind of monster in a nearby lake. So of course we had to come. A monster? My mind instantly goes back to the Japanese myths that I know, and I shudder. I certainly hope not all of those were real. After everything I've learned in the past few months, though, I'm sure whatever it is terrifying. I bite my lip. Timidly, I try to call out to the gods, just to be extra sure they aren't going to respond. Galen? Haruka? Hello? Welcome back, Dolphin. They don't, of course. I don't know what I expected, if anything, but I can't help but wonder. Just what the hell are they doing, anyway? Haruka sits at a table with her fellow gods. The table is made out of stone, or perhaps marble. It does not matter, for it floats above the god of chaos's pool of water, unheeding of such things as gravity. Haruka, sitting in a matching chair, gingerly reaches for her teacup. It is with shaking hands that she brings it to her lips as she watches the other two gods. Sunika no Mikoto sits on the left of Haruka. Her delicately crossed legs beneath the table belies the casual, almost boyish demeanor she demonstrates above. The time goddess lounges, her elbow on the table, face resting in her hand as she sips her tea. She looks across the table to the god of chaos, who sits on Haruka's right. Have you been to the Divine Realms recently? I was invited rather recently by a certain trio of gods. They showed me a fascinating little box they thought might contain me. Contain you? People are still even attempting that? Laughter escapes his lips, half amused, half something else. Hope springs eternal, I suppose, even with gods. As human as that is. Haruka tries to steady her hand as she places the teacup back on the table. She asks herself how this ended up happening, but she realizes that there is no certain answer. Once they had sent Kate off, Galen simply offered Sunika tea. The goddess had shrugged and said sure, leaving Haruka with her mouth hanging open. A table had been summoned, and that is now how the unlikely trio sat, discussing godly affairs as if it were gossip. Haruka could not find it in herself to participate in the conversation, because in all honesty, she was terrified of the two gods. And everything in her divine being told her that this arrangement was wrong. Divinity represented order, and chaos went against everything that stood for. Humans aren't so different from us, really. We're all fools. I am curious, though. What happened with the box? Did you leave the idiots alive? Fools they may be, but killing them would have been a waste. And I prefer not to deal with angry little gods attempting to avenge some half-wits. Yet, despite being born with the power to keep the timelines in order, Sunika was the one taking advantage of the chaos, while Galen was the one trying to restore something very precious to her. It all made Haruka feel very confused, but in her heart she knows that Galen is kind and fun to be with. And Sunika, well, she does not know how to feel about her. Haruka promises herself to spend some quiet time in nature to clear her mind of all this, when it's all over, and focuses on the conversing gods instead. I'm sure you're well aware that if you annihilated all of us now, then you wouldn't have to deal with any of this anymore. I wonder if you aren't just too kind. Galen falls quiet for a moment. His eyes turn somewhere far away, beyond the Colosseum walls. His lips twist into a melancholy smile. That is not something I will do. His voice is quiet, and the words themselves are strained, with an almost overwhelming sadness coloring them. Haruka sends a quiet wish that Kate is doing all right and has located Hikaru already. I did. After our little lunch break, we began to walk again, but it started raining. I will take care of keeping us dry, if that is all right with you, Kate. I look at her in surprise, still not quite used to her calling me out this way, but I manage a nod. Her eyes suddenly glow a bright green, and with a small flick of her wrist, she creates an invisible bubble around us. The rain slides right off, no longer drenching us. She gives us a little smile and wordlessly waves her hand again, almost instantly drying us off. We continue to walk up what seems like never-ending steps in silence. I watch the steps under my feet, only half paying attention to our surroundings. I hear Hikaru gasp suddenly and almost trip over one of the steps. I look up to see a girl with a traditional umbrella standing on the steps above us. Sina? Hikaru? The girl drops her umbrella and runs up to Hikaru. Before he can so much as react, she throws her arms around him, burying her face in his chest. It's really you! I can't believe you came back. I had to. You needed help. Hikaru gives the small young woman a gentle pat on the back with one hand. I glance at Shizuka, wondering how she is taking the situation, and see her calmly watching the two with a smile. Sina seems to realize there's other people there for the first time and grows shy. She lets go of Hikaru and holds out onto his arm instead. Hello, I'm Sina. Are you guys Hikaru's friends? The question is a simple one, but in that moment it makes me realize that I don't even really know if I am or not. And who knows what Shizuka is to him. But Hikaru answers for everyone. They are my companions. They are here to help your village. This is Lady Shizuka and Lady Kate. Lady Shizuka, the legendary sorceress? Shizuka gracefully nods her head in response. I feel kind of lame next to Shizuka, like an afterthought, but technically I do have all of Shizuka's powers, I guess. It's just that other people don't know that. It's strange to see my mother recognized like this. There was so much I didn't know growing up. I still can't wrap my head around the fact that any of this is even happening, or was ever real. Sina looks at me. You two look just alike. Are you related? Sisters, maybe? We're related, yes. Hikaru jumps in to divert the conversation, perhaps sensing my discomfort at having to explain the nature of my relationship with Shizuka. Sina, we meant to be here earlier. Can you tell me the situation in the village as we walk? Of course. As we continue to walk up the steps, Sina tells us that there has been a monster terrorizing people who go anywhere near the lake. I suspect that it might be a kappa. Perhaps, but they are not normally so malicious. We'll know soon enough. It's already evening by the time we reach the village. Hikaru's mood seems to have gone even darker. I sigh. Instead, I look around the village, taking in all the cute fox statues everywhere. You guys sure like foxes. They're not foxes, you idiot. God. Oh, they're kitsune. They're the deities we pray to here. Aren't you supposed to be Japanese? How do you not know what kitsune are? Kitsune, the shape-shifting foxes, right? Yes. I love kitsune. Yes. I thought about getting one as a pet for the channel, like with a little unicorn. They have a cute one. I love them. Oh, they're one of my favorite parts of folklore. I love kitsune. I'm so happy to hear that. They deserve all the love. I nod vigorously. They do. Shizuka quietly watches our interaction with a smile. Sina? I was wondering, how is it that you know Hikaru? Well, I met Hiki when he stayed at my village last time to help us out. Oh. I was lucky that he let me bug him until we became friends. Friends, huh? That was quite a few years ago, though. Hiki and I were just teenagers then. A teenager? Even more... What was he like? Sina opens her mouth to respond when we're interrupted by an angry voice. How dare you show your face around here? We turn to face an angry woman with tears running down her face. A man stops beside her to see what's going on, then gasps. You're the... Hearing the commotion, more villagers gather around, gasping and pointing. Right at Hikaru. What's going on? You're traveling with a murderer! I turn to look at Hikaru, who only stands there, receiving their anger and accusations as the crowd begins to yell things at him. Sina grabs onto his arm protectively and glares at the crowd. Can everyone just calm down? I know that people you loved were hurt. I know that people died, but it was an accident. He was just trying to help. My husband died because of that monster. Half our village was destroyed. It took us years to restore this much. How dare you show your face here now? Oh my. He came back to try and help us. You can't. Sina looks up as Hikaru puts a hand on her shoulder and then walks off on his own. Hikaru, wait! Hikaru! Before I can even think about what I'm doing, I find my feet moving on my own, chasing after Hikaru. I follow Hikaru through the village, but he moves so fast that I can't catch up with him. I'm gonna save real quick. He finally stops at a lake just outside of the village. I put my hands on my knees, entirely out of breath. My heavy breathing makes Hikaru turn around. Kate? Tears. Seeing the tears freely streaming down Hikaru's face makes me think of the last time he cried in front of me. Hikaru seems embarrassed and turns away. I look down, uncertain how to approach the wind demigod. I don't want to be pushed away again, but right now, supporting him is more important. Steeling myself, I walk up to him, though he's still facing away from me. Uncertain of what I'm doing myself, I stand there for a moment before gingerly putting my arms around him from behind. I press my face into his warm back and tighten my arms around his waist. I feel him stiffen, but I squeeze my eyes shut and try to send him the message that it's okay, that he's not alone. Gradually, Hikaru relaxes and I open my eyes, staring at the setting sun over the peaceful lake. Occasionally, I feel little movements that I think might be sobs, and I just hold him tighter. Seeing that I haven't been rejected yet, I finally work up the bravery to speak. Why has she always got to speak? You don't always have to speak, lady. Do you want to talk about what happened here? Hikaru lets out a heavy sigh and gently loosens my hold on him. He turns toward me. It is not something I like to talk about, but you have already seen and heard many things. I should clarify them at least. To understand, I need to explain what I am first, who I am. You already know that I am half god. Being a demigod does not work quite the same as other half-species. It is more like there is a human Hikaru and a god Hikaru, both inside of me. When I was a child, I had difficulty controlling that god. A weak god though he may be, he is still destructive. That is why my mother gave me this earring. When I was 7 years old, I lost control of that god and badly hurt another child. My village called me things like freak. They did not know what I was, but they feared me. My father, though only a farmer, was brave and spoke up for me. He and his wife protected me. They sent me to bed early that night so that I would not hear the awful things they yelled outside our home. But I still heard. I could not sleep. I felt as if I was nothing but a burden to my parents. I did not know what I was or why I hurt people like this. Later that night, when the villagers had tired, I snuck out. I walked to the shore of a lake, much like this one. And that is when my mother came to me for the first time. Haruka no Kaze. Yes, I had never met her, nor did I know the story of my birth. I was afraid, at first, but I could feel in her a sameness that I had never felt with anyone else before. She was beautiful, kind, and divine against the moonlight, and so I felt relaxed in a way I never could remember feeling before. She introduced herself as Haruka no Kaze, goddess of the winds. She told me that she was my birth mother. She said that she had met my father 8 human years ago and fell in love after he tried to save her. My mother told me that made me half god, but she said that the god inside me was too strong to let out around humans, for they are naturally weaker. Hikaru touches his earring. That is when she gave me this, to limit my power. Ever since that night, knowing that she was watching over me, knowing that I could fit in and not hurt anyone, I became happy, and I was grateful. When I was 16 years old, I met Lady Shizuka. She had come to my village to rest and ended up fighting off a monster alongside me. That is when I decided that I wanted more than just to fit in. I wanted to help other people with my power. So I begged Lady Shizuka to take me with her, but she refused. Still, I was stubborn. I said farewell to my father and his wife, the only other woman I knew as my mother, and I set off on my own to help people. But I made many mistakes during that time. During Onin War a few years back, I tried to help those who were weak that had been swept up in the war, but I was not able to save everyone. I saw so many die. Despite all my supposed power, still so many died. Hikaru trails off for a few moments, and I reach out to take his hand. Not looking up, I stroke his hand. And what happened in Miyazawa Village? In Miyazawa Village was my greatest mistake. After the war, I wandered here. I had seen too much. I wanted someplace quiet I could gather my thoughts. The people here accepted me as I helped them out with everyday tasks. Sina and I became close friends after her parents let me do work for them. I grew to become comfortable here. It became my second home. But really, I was just running away from my pain. And from my dreams too, from what I really wanted to do. You cannot outrun your destiny, it seems. You will always be pulled back in eventually. A powerful demon attacked the village one day. I had heard about it attacking other villages, but I figured there was nothing I could do. At least, that's what I told myself. Eventually, it came to Miyazawa. I tried to fight it when it had tried to attack Sina and I, but my earring, I lost it in the fight, and then I lost control. I am pathetic for saying this, but I am thankful I have no memory of what happened next. In the end, it was Lady Shizuka stopped me and brought me back to my senses. She had come to help them. I am ashamed that she saw me that way, but I am far more ashamed of what I did while I was like that. People died. I killed people, destroyed their homes. I have no words or defense for my actions. I immediately find myself hugging Hikaru, this time from the front. He looks down at me, stunned. But it was an accident. You were only trying to help. Even so, it was Sunika who chose to hurt them. You are simply the person who was entangled and pulled into her twisted plans. It has nothing to do with you. It was not your fault. Yeah, turn it around on him.
It's not your fault. Don't fuck with me, alright? Don't fuck with me, Sean, not you. It's not your fault.
Isn't that what you told me last night? Was that a lie? Was it you who chose to hurt those people, or that demon? The regrets we carry from our actions can feel as if they will suffocate you. But if you can remember how far you have come while looking ahead to the future, to whatever it is you are fighting for, then I know you can find whatever it is you are seeking, or achieve any dream you are reaching toward. Gaslight the shit out of that god. I know. I remember every word you said. It's burned into my mind. Aren't you being hypocritical if you don't take your own advice? Yes, our actions both hurt people. Yes, it was an accident, and we should bear responsibility for doing what we can to fix it. But it wasn't our faults, and we shouldn't let us stop from moving forward. Right? Hikaru stares at me, seemingly at a loss for words. Kate, A loud splash from the lake drowns out Hikaru's words, drawing our attention away from each other. We turn to face the lake. A large, green, scaly creature stands before us, dripping with water. Hikaru immediately shoves me behind him. So it is a kappa, after all. But why is it here, in a lake? Something is off. Kate, can you run and get Lady Shizuka? No way. Oh, wait. Are you sure you'll be okay alone? No way. I feel out of my element, but like leaving him alone, I don't know. Are you be okay? Are you sure you'll be okay alone? Yes, just go now. I try to flee, but the kappa is faster than I could have guessed. It darts after me, moving to block my way out. It lets out a gargled sort of shriek as if to say, "You're not going anywhere." Fine, you weird thing. If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you'll get. The kappa runs at us with incredible speed. It's so fast that I barely see it move, dodging just a second before it rushes right past me. How is it so fast? From what I do remember about kappa, they're not supposed to be this unnaturally fast. Hikaru pulls out his sword and meets the kappa head-on as it jumps at him, trying to get a bite out of him. He grunts as he struggles to keep the creature off of him. This is no ordinary kappa. His strength is unreal. Hikaru's voice is strained as he speaks, and not for a moment does he take his eyes off of the kappa. Looking at the crazed creature, I have to agree. There's something off. Because we know a lot about Kappa. I have to agree. Alright. Just like there's something off with the creatures that attacked us before. Oh, it's almost like there's like a goddess fucking with us. I don't know why we're always surprised. I get lost in those thoughts just a moment too long. The Kappa overpowers Hikaru, making him jump back, away from the creature's clawed hand. I barely catch Hikaru's hand reaching for his earring. With a flash of light, Hikaru stands transformed. The Kappa stands frozen, much like me, staring at the godly form before us.
And here we go.
I snap myself out of my frozen state and push my hands out towards the Kappa. It shrieks as walls of ice shoot out from the ground around him. Hikaru wastes no time. Using the opening I've created, he glides forward as if he no longer needs to abide by the laws of gravity. He makes a slicing motion with his hand. A sharp gust of wind pushes forward, easily cutting through both the Kappa and my ice barriers. The Kappa gargles and his body falls to the ground like a sack of potatoes. I stare at the dead creature as my ice barriers melt away, but I find my eyes drifting towards Hikaru. They're like, hey. He, still in his godly form, stands near the slain Kappa's body. That was hot. We're like, hey. Hikaru looks at me and I unconsciously take a step back, feeling the intense aura radiating from him. Do you fear me? Hikaru's voice is deeper and almost echoing as he is imbued with divine power. Nope. No. No. Quite the opposite, actually. I look at Hikaru, thinking, then shake my head. No. Maybe I should. No, I probably should, but I don't. I owe my life to you. So even if you wish to take it, I shrug. Maybe I'd be alright with that. Yeah. You can come take it. So even if it's stupid, I have nothing to lose. I trust you. I see. That disgust and the monster we came here to fight already dealt with, we decide to head back to the village. But I can see the hesitation in Hikaru's eyes, so I hold his hand the rest of the way back. When we get back to town, people still look at Hikaru with suspicious eyes. But it's obvious that Shizuka and Sina managed to calm the situation down. When we explain that the Kappa is dead and that Hikaru killed it, everyone rejoices. Wow, they really blow hot and cold, huh? They're like, oh, you're cool now. The tension in the village lightens somewhat, and no one approaches Hikaru anymore. Plans for a feast are made instead, and we were offered a room for the night. As we stand in the village's center discussing what to do next, Sina rushes towards us. She almost trips over her own feet, but manages to catch herself just in time. I have some news. The leader of the village has asked me to go pray at the shrine tomorrow. The village wants to give thanks to our patron god. They also want me to ask for further protection so tragedies like this won't happen again. Is that so? Then, since we managed to take care of the problem so quickly, I will have some time tomorrow. I will go with you to protect you on the journey. You really don't have to, but it's appreciated. I'd be happy to have you along. We will go too then, if you do not mind. We will spend tomorrow preparing for our journeys and recovering a bit, and then we can join you. Sounds great, thank you. I'd be honored to travel with you, Lady Shizuka. I'm kind of excited now. I haven't taken a trip with anyone in a long time. Sina bows. Thank you so much. With that, we say our goodnights and head off to the inn where we'll be staying. The three of us are given rooms for the night, me with Shizuka and Hikaru with his own. When I get there, I nearly pass out from the long trek and fight on the spot. My last thoughts before slumber turn to Hikaru. I'm really happy. I'm happy to have learned about his past. That he trusted me enough to tell me. Finally, I think I'm coming to understand him better. I just wish that he could remember everything when he woke up. Even though I know it's an impossible dream, it comforts me as I fall to sleep. Day 6. I ended up sleeping well into the day, near as I can tell by the sunlight, both from exhaustion and from finally being in a proper sleeping situation. I've taken a roof over my head for granted for so many years. I'll always be thankful from now on. I wake up both very hungry and very alone. I wonder where Shizuka is. I end up stepping out into the hallway just as Hikaru is passing by. He narrowly avoids our collision by gracefully stepping out of the way. Hikaru? I begin to ask him where Shizuka is, but he takes one look at me and goes red in the face. Kate, you are, indecent. Oh, what? Huh? I look down and see that my kimono is in disarray. Oh, this old thing? Let me fix it real quick. Desperately, I try to wrap the clothes around myself. Ah, damn it. I'm not used to wearing these things. I don't even know how to fix it. Do you know where Shizuka is? I don't even know how to fix this thing. She is, out. How hard can it be? She went to get supplies for our future travels with the money we were given for defeating the Kappa. Oh, do you know when she'll be back? I do not. I suggest you just stay in your room and rest until she gets back. I will make certain to send her to your room as soon as I see her. You can't help me fix it? Yeah. You want to help me? Take it off? Certainly not. You should get back into your room right now before someone sees you. Hikaru raises his hand, his palm facing me. A small gust of wind pushes me back into my room, almost making me stumble. Hey! The shoji screen slides shut so fast that for a brief moment I think it might catch on fire. I stare at the screen, stunned. What? I burst into laughter. My whole body shakes as I plop myself down on the floor. Man, he's a far cry from Mr. Kabitan's his students. I'm not sure what that means. I wonder where all that modesty went in 500 years. It takes me a while to calm down from my hysterics, but after that I find that I have nothing to do. I end up nearly dying of boredom and hunger in my room, practicing spells by myself until Shizuka comes back later that evening. The evening? Dude, seriously, you can't figure out a fucking kimono? Ugh. She's kind of useless sometimes. She ends up helping me fix my kimono so that I can finally go down to dinner. But before I do, I finally venture to ask Shizuka a question. Shizuka, can I ask you a question? Of course. What is your relationship to Hikaru? Because this is all getting really awkward. That is simple enough, at least on my side. He has always reminded me of my little brothers, and I view him as such. Okay, good. Oh, you have little brothers? Does that mean I have uncles? Maybe even cousins and... Had. It has been a long time. Oh, I'm sorry. It is alright. Do not trouble yourself over it. It doesn't feel like it's anything close to alright, but I don't know that I should push it. I can't stop myself from letting out a sigh. Oh, anyway, you said on my side? You should probably ask him how he feels yourself. But there is nothing going on between us. We are only traveling companions and friends. I realize that I feel immense relief at her explanation. Ugh, seriously, Kate, this is not the time or place to be having feelings. But even still, I can't quite stop myself from nearly skipping down to dinner that night. Oh, that was a quick day. Day 7. Kate's log. Day 7. I have walked more in the past week than I ever have in my life. We've been walking all day, and thankfully, Hikaru seems to be in a much better mood. Sina asked him about what he's been doing in the years since she's seen him. So Hikaru has been regaling us with tales of some of his lighter past adventures. You're seriously saying that a giant spider tried to seduce you? What can I say? Apparently she thought I was a handsome guy. I look up at the sky, and seeing that it will be night soon, sigh. It looks like we won't make it back down to town before dark. Sleeping indoors was nice while it lasted. Lady Shizuka? Is something wrong? It is nothing. Everything should be fine. Should be? I'm not sure if I've ever seen her look that worried before. Rarely, anyway. Is there something wrong with it being night? But we've always been fine before. Could it be the area? I glance over at Sina, but she doesn't look very happy either. Well, we're a powerful group. I'm sure we can handle whatever might go wrong. I sigh again. I seem to be doing that a lot lately. Being an adventurer sounds fun, but then when you get right down to it, it's hella stressful. Shortly after that, we finally arrive at the shrine. Sina begins to walk through the gate, but then stops and looks back at us. You guys aren't coming? I am sorry, but I do not share your beliefs. I have no need. Same for me. Oh, alright. I'll just be a few minutes then. Take your time. Sina walks off through the gate, being careful to avoid the center. Hikaru and Shizuka immediately strike up a discussion as if they were waiting for her to leave. Hikaru. Yes, Lady Shizuka? While I was in town yesterday, I heard grave news. Hikaru's demeanor shifts to one of utmost seriousness, and I grow concerned. What could be so bad as to shake Shizuka? Shizuka takes a deep breath. It seems that the Weaver of Time has gone mad. Sunika no Mikoto? She nods. This must be the point in time Hikaru met her, and did whatever he did to piss her off so badly. They say that she is destroying livestock, crops. There are reports of entire villages disappearing, though I cannot say if any of it is true. Oh, it's true. I can tell you that. If it is, then we must stop her. It is not so easy to stop a raging goddess, even for me. And this is Sunika no Mikoto. I do not fully know her power, but I am aware of the stories. They do not change the solution. If the Weaver of Time has gone truly insane, then we are the best people to stop her. No matter what, we cannot let innocent people die while we save ourselves. There is no point to having power if you do not use it to help those you can. I see. I expected nothing less from you, in truth, but I wanted you to understand the situation. I do. We should begin traveling to her last known location as soon as possible. What about me? Wait, did y'all not remember what I said? Hikaru, don't fight her. Yeah, like, did you not remember what I said? She's like the whole reason I'm here. What about Sina? Hikaru, don't fight her. Don't do it. This has to be why she gets so angry at you later on. Maybe we can prevent what happens later. I do not know that much about time magic or other universes, but from what I understand, it is impossible to change the future. Then what the hell am I doing here? It is unlikely that the Weaver could let that happen anyway, and I cannot just stand by and let innocent people die while I cling to a vague hope to save myself. Maybe Shizuka and I could fight alone. Hikaru places a hand on my shoulder. I do have my pride and honor as a man. More importantly, I could never risk any harm coming to you two to save myself. Thank you for caring so much, but I cannot back down. I do not like the idea of risking either of you. My heart skips a beat at this before I can chastise it. But I respect both of you and your abilities. I would be honored to fight alongside you both. Ah, I never thought I'd hear something like that in real life. Or that it'd sound so romantic. Ugh, no, stop it, Kate. Not right now. Please, do not tell Sina about this. I would prefer not to upset her. Tell me about what? Oh, hey! Nothing. We turn to see that Sina has come back from the shrine. Well, I wanted to avoid telling you, but since you overheard some, we have to leave tomorrow, immediately after we get you back to your village. I am sorry. I know I told you we would stay for a few days at least. He lied just like that, huh? Well, I guess it technically isn't a lie. Oh, I see. Well, it can't be helped, right? Honestly, I'm just happy I even get to see you again and spend this much time with you. So let's get going then. There's a nice place to camp nearby. Before anyone can say anything else, Sina is strolling off into the forest, and we have no choice but to follow her. Hikaru went to gather wood for the campfire, while we set about preparing the campsite. Having magic is seriously convenient at times like this, since you can just start a fire with that instead of actual effort. Yet they still don't have smartphones. When Hikaru returns with the firewood, we set about cooking the food we brought from town. Yo, honestly, I would really love not having a smartphone. I'd be like, thank you. Can I stay here? All of us, except for Shizuka, who finishes drawing a chalk line on the ground. Carefully following the chalk line, she places crystals into the ground around us. Sina watches her with interested eyes, but me? I feel sweat beat on the back of my neck as I remember. This is what she did to us. Mother snaps her fingers. As if I was a marionette on strings, my body plays along, sitting up on its own. I can see a strange chalk circle outline on the ground around us. Her heels click against the stone. She walks to something that looks like an altar of some sort. Please explain. What have you done to me? Why? How? I can see her eyes dart toward me momentarily as she continues to work. She places various crystals along the chalk outline. My heart is beating impossibly fast. I try to stay as calm as I possibly can. I suppose I should explain. It's only fair. She stops and looks at me. I am many things. My true name is Shizuka. I am the last living sorceress. A mistake rendered me cursed, unable to die. I feel nauseous and lightheaded. I stumble back a little and almost fall, but Hikaru is right there steadying me. Are you feeling all right, Kate? Yeah. Sure. I stand up on my own and turn away from Shizuka. I fret on the inside, but I know that ignoring it will only make it worse. So instead I go ahead and ask what I want to know. Why is she doing that? Is it a ritual? Hikaru glances at Shizuka and then back to me. Sometimes she does place protections when we are in particularly dangerous areas. I did not know this was one of them, but I have never ventured outside of Miyazawa in this direction before. Hikaru lowers his voice. I can guess what you might be thinking, and I can assure you that Shizuka means you no harm. And even if she did, I would not let anything happen to you. Aww. Oh. Thank you. My anxiety remains, at least about sleeping in such an apparently dangerous area. But I'm too scared to even approach Shizuka, much less ask her. In the end, her preparations take the rest of the time until dinner is ready. We all gather around the campfire to eat our dinner. I began to think about our unusual situation. I've never done anything like this before, camping on a mountain under the stars. It feels kind of cozy, like some kind of weird family. I stare into the dancing flames of the bonfire. I wonder who would be who in the family. Maybe Sina, Shizuka, and I would all be sisters. Well, no, that'd make Hikaru a brother, or the protagonist of some kind of weird harem. I hold in a laugh at the idea. Still, it feels nice, deceptively so. I could almost get used to living in this time. I definitely could. Shizuka is unexpectedly comforting, like a reliable older sister. Or maybe this is what she would have been like as a better mother. But then why was she so cold to me anyway? I have so many questions still. First and foremost, though, even if the gods have been silent, I can't forget my mission to get Hikaru's last soul fragments. I just wouldn't mind if it took a lot longer to do so. It's not like time is ticking for me in my world, probably, or like my body is aging. Hikaru's smooth, deep voice interrupts my thoughts then. Lady Shizuka. Yes, Hikaru? May I ask why you placed wards around our campsite tonight? A look of something like fear flits across Shizuka's face. I feel my stomach tighten into a ball. Sina only stares down into the fire, her already pale face growing even paler. Lady Shizuka? As fear settles upon Shizuka's countenance, a thin whisper, almost lost in the night winds, carries a single word to my ears. Gasha Dokuro. Gasha... here? A small nod from the last sorceress is enough to cause a cloud of anxiety to fall over the group. Gasha Dokuro. Is that some kind of monster? Yes. I'm sorry. I didn't mention it because I didn't want to make anyone nervous. I thought we'd be back before nightfall, but I took too long and we left too late, and I'm... Sina, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. Don't fuck with me, alright? Don't fuck with me, Sean, not you. It's not your fault.
Everything is all right. We will all be fine. What was a cozy atmosphere has been changed into nothing but 4 people in the middle of the wilderness, huddling together against the dangers that lie within the night. I'm I spent a lot of time outside of Japan. Long story. Could someone explain what those are? Even though, if it's got Shizuka scared, I doubt I really want to know. Both of the women look too nervous to speak, so after a moment, Hikaru begins to answer my question. Gashidokuro are horrifying giant skeletons. Great. They are said to be 15 times taller than the average human. Great.
I'm done.
I don't want to do that.
I didn't do fucking shit. I didn't rig shit.
I'm not doing it. They can turn invisible, and they're said to be indestructible. Great. That's fine. Great. They are said to be an amalgamation of all the bones of people who died in the wilderness, whether of starvation or in battle without being given proper funeral rites. This monstrosity roams certain areas in the darkest hours of the night, snatching travelers and biting off their heads to drink their spraying blood. Wow. It is said the only sound before they attack is the sound of loud ringing in your ear. Hikaru, please don't. Hikaru blinks, as if not realizing how into his own story he had gotten. He clears his throat. Sorry. I exhale, letting out the breath I didn't know I'd been holding. Ah, that bastard. Was he trying to scare us? Since Shizuka has already put up wards, then we've done all we can. Why am I saying that? How the fuck do you know that? So maybe could we talk about something else then? Sure. What do you want to talk about? I think my eyes fall on Shizuka, but I can't think of anything appropriate to ask her. A certain topic does come to mind, however, and I try to think of how to phrase it so it won't alarm Sina. Well, when we were in town, I thought I heard someone mention some kind of weaver of time. Do any of you guys know more about that person? Hikaru's eyes narrow at me. What? Oh, what? I didn't tell her anything. He sighs and begins to speak anyway. I have heard of her. We met her and her lover once on our travels. We, as in you and Shizuka? Yes. There are stories that they live in whatever place and time period they choose, so I never imagined that I would meet them. But they are settled in Japan right now. We met them briefly as fellow travelers in a town. I was finishing my purchase of some magical supplies for our travels when I felt an immense energy nearby. Did you feel that? Just for a moment, but yes. That was huge.
That's what she said.
Indeed. I hope it is not a threat. I am not certain, but I think it was of a divine nature. Here. I finished my exchange and stepped away, scanning the crowds around us. I wondered if there might be gods in our midst and hoped that they were not enemies. This is when I saw her, standing right beside me. A tiny thing. She looked as if she were a young girl more than a goddess. But there was something about her that made me certain that she was no ordinary mortal. Hello! You two are such sharp ones, aren't you? She spoke with a strange accent that I could not place. Some gods do, but the Weaver's was undoubtedly one of the strangest I had ever heard. Are you what we think you are? Am I a mind reader now? Well, I suppose I might be one. But it is a bit rude to presume that I might want to waste time doing that, isn't it? At any rate, I am what you see. I am what you sense. That esoteric enough for ya? Hikaru exhales deeply. Can none of your kind be remotely normal? Aw, my feelings are hurt. A half-breed god traveling with one of Grandpa Emo's offspring doesn't think I'm normal. How dare you speak that way to Lady Shizuka? A calm, deep voice cut through the impending argument. It was then I realized that was not just one god before us, but two. He had been standing close by the entire time without me noticing it, it seemed. Sunika. The large man's hand sank down to Sunika's shoulder, giving it a loving squeeze. I was in shock, realizing who the two must be then. Not only had we stumbled upon gods whom are so rarely found in human realms, but we had found the only two known time gods to exist in our lifetime. There's no need to out these people's identities, or be cruel to them. Seeing the way he spoke to the tiny goddess, I knew this god's name must be Tokyo no Mikoto, the keeper of time. He looked at us then, and I immediately felt a warm feeling of comfort staring into his eyes. Unlike the sharp goddess, Tokyo's eyes radiated safety and gentleness. Well met. It's always an interesting experience to meet people who know of us. I wonder that it is mere coincidence that we were able to meet two time travelers in the right place and location. Perhaps it is indeed fate. It's good to return to our own time period every now and then. It can be lonely in others, knowing that we will be forgotten when we leave. I can only imagine. Tokyo looked down at his lover with a gentle, love-filled expression I can hardly pay justice to in words. My love, would you like to invite these people to eat with us? I'm sure they'll provide entertaining discussion. Yeah, sure. So you just went and had a meal with a couple of gods? Yes, it was a memorable experience. Yes, they shared with us tales of their experiences in the future and past ages, and we in turn talked about some of our experiences. Wow, it's almost hard to believe you could just casually meet them like that. By the way, what did Tokyo mean by it can be lonely in other time periods? Divine magic dictates that order must be preserved. Tokyo and Sunika decided to spend their lives living in different time periods across the ages. But whatever they change, they must restore. No matter what happens, no one can remember them outside of their real time period. I see. That is pretty sad. And I think it explains why Sunika seemed so thrilled with screwing up the other timelines. We talk a bit more about this and that, but my mind never really strays from the story Shizuka and Hikaru told about the two time gods. Everything makes a little more sense now, hearing about how much they seem to love each other. I can't help but wonder, what would it feel like to lose my other half? What would it be like to feel the pain she must have gone through? I'm guessing it just now happened in this timeline then. The thought of soon facing Sunika at the peak of her rage and fury puts my stomach into knots. But eventually we put out the campfire and all lie down to sleep. I can't sleep. With the threat of the Gasha Dukuro lurking nearby, and the coming fight against Sunika, I just can't sleep. After turning over on the hard ground about 50 times, I decide to get up and stretch. In doing so, I see a dark figure sitting at the edge of the barrier. They sit right by the sakura trees, their figures silhouetted against the moonlight. My heart stops for a moment as I try to figure out what I'm seeing, but then the figure turns toward me. Seeing familiar, vivid green eyes against the night, I realize that Shizuka is still awake. I hesitate for only a moment before walking over to her. Oh, hello, Nato Tata. Fighting to get your audio to work? Oh, no. Does it work now? Can you hear me now? Mimicking her, I kneel and sit beside the woman who will one day be my mother. You couldn't sleep either? Shizuka shakes her head. I can never sleep when Gasha Dokuro are nearby. Are you on guard then? Yes, I often am. I do not always mention it, but I try my best to watch over Hikaru when I can. Okay, I will save. It has been a minute. And now there are all of you, too, so I could not possibly sleep on a night like this. That's sweet, but don't you get tired the next day? Loud and clear, Captain. Oh, Nature, you're gonna want to watch this week's episode. You're wildin'. I am only human, so yes. But there are some spells to help with staying up all night. You have to teach me those, then. I bet they'd be useful for when I procrastinate my schoolwork too long. You're always wildin'. Yeah, that's true. That's fair. Shizuka, you're extra wildin' this week. Shizuka gives me a little smile, and I have a nostalgic rush of affection for this woman. The feeling confuses me. I know I shouldn't feel this way, but, at the end of the day, she's still your mom. She used to smile so much more when I was little, but those smiles grew colder and less frequent as time went on. To see her smile at me like this, it's strange, confusing. She is the woman that raised me, or she will be anyway. Mind if I keep you company? I don't know if I can sleep tonight myself. Not at all. I would be happy for you to. A comfortable silence falls between us. We both look up at the starlight dancing between the branches of the sakura trees. Eventually, Shizuka is surprisingly the one to break the silence. I know that being in a completely different time than your own must be difficult, Kate. How have you been doing? Not as badly as I thought. I mean, I am used to way more comfort and convenience in my life, in my clothes and shoes, and what I get to eat, or when I get to eat, and when I want to know something. I've probably got bruises all over from sleeping on the ground. But? I don't really get views like these in Tokyo in my time. Oh, I guess it would have been called Edo now. That small fishing village? I guess. It's nothing like that now. It's one of the biggest, most famous cities in the world. It has taller buildings than the eye can see, and at night, the city sparkles. It's beautiful. Wow. It is somewhat hard to believe, but I think I am proud for Japan. You are lucky to live in such an incredible place. Yes. Still, though, the buildings and lights are too tall. They block out amazing views like this one. So even though things are often uncomfortable, I feel like it's worth it if I get to experience such amazing things. I am happy, then, that it has been a positive experience for you so far. We lapse into silence again. I find myself experiencing a myriad of feelings. Happiness at getting to be like this with my mother, but resentment, too, that the future Shizuka is much different. Shizuka turns to me and wordlessly looks at me for a few moments, but before I can ask her why, she begins to speak. May I ask you something, Kate? Oh, go ahead. Why is it that you look so much like me? If not for the eyes, we could be called twins. Oh, should I tell her? I look down at my hands resting in my lap, fingers gripping at the kimono fabric. Here's my chance to tell Shizuka everything. But do I want to take it? As I look at Shizuka, I realize that more than anything, I'm nervous to tell her the tale. Am I afraid she'll start being cold to me once she knows? I take a deep breath and begin to tell her everything. Everything about who I am and what she's done. And the deeper into the story I go, the more Shizuka frowns. So you are a homunculus, one that I created to be my daughter? One to push my powers onto, and... She takes a deep breath and glances back toward our sleeping companions. The curse. You know about the curse. Shizuka looks up at the stars with a frown. Yes. I hold my breath and brace myself for her reaction. But I couldn't have predicted it. I am sorry for what I have done to you. I cannot fully understand my future self's reasons. But for you to continue to exist, to be able to come here and do all this, it means I must do it. She sighs and closes her eyes. The homunculus. We are locked in a time loop. There's no way out of doing it. So I must take my dream of having a daughter and twist it like this. My chest feels heavy at her words. Shizuka looks down at her hands. I cannot imagine why I would do such a thing, to even consider it. Especially after knowing you like this. She looks up at me with a smile, seemingly endless tears falling from those oh-so-familiar green eyes. I want to say something, but I find that I have to choke back a sob of my own. If I must become a monster to bring you to your destiny. She looks so sad, my heart feels as if it's breaking, but she does not waver. If I must become a monster, then so be it. I will do what I must. For you. Shizuka pauses, and when she speaks again, her voice sounds so much smaller. And, while I can, may I... She stops. Yes? Gently I urge her to continue. May I call you my daughter and give you the love that I wasn't able to, even if only for now? Aww. I'd like to try it at least. Mom. The last word remains unspoken. I can't yet bring myself to call her that. Not quite. From your story, I would assume that the future me has not told you much about my past. I nod. Whatever the future you has told me about anything magical or yourself, it was only very briefly during the ritual. I see. Would it be okay for me to tell you about my story and my past? I'd call her Mom. Are you sure? Shizuka nods. I feel it is only right that you should know. You deserve to know. I'll call her whatever she wants me to. Hey, yo. Then yes, of course. I would love to hear it. A gust of wind blows through, suddenly creating a delicate pink rain of cherry blossom petals. Shizuka reaches out, letting the petals dance between her fingers. I was born as the eldest child of a master swordsmith. My father was a very skilled craftsman, and I loved to watch him work. When I became old enough to be of any use, I loved helping him where I could. She chuckles sadly. My mother hated that. She wanted me to help around the house, to help with my little brothers. My father, he would always smile when he saw me sneak in to watch him work. Shizuka falls silent. Her expression twists in pain. If it's too painful to remember, that's very kind of you, but it is all right. They were your family too. I only regret that all I can give you is my memories of them. My parents, they would have liked to meet their granddaughter, that I'm sure of. I feel a sudden sharp pain in my heart. My family, the very thought that I have a family somewhere, now forever lost to time. People I would never get to meet. People that Shizuka had to leave behind. My brothers were all so different, and yet they all loved nothing more than getting into trouble together. Running off to explore around the village together, I would be the one who had to run after them each time. As time went on and I grew older, I met the son of a samurai. We were quite taken with each other, and as things went, we were to be married. The whole village celebrated our union, and I thought I would live a happy life with my new husband. But on our wedding night, my powers awakened. The moment he saw my suddenly green eyes, he screamed and grabbed for his sword. I didn't understand what was happening. I didn't know why. I didn't want to die. Shizuka closes her eyes and takes a deep breath. I was terrified out of my mind. I don't know how I avoided his attacks. I didn't know anything back then. I couldn't fight. So I just ran and ran. I ran through the village where the people who I once knew and loved suddenly turned on me. They all tried to get at me. They were throwing stones and calling me sorceress, begging for forgiveness from the gods as they attacked me. I was nearly out of the village when I saw him, my father. I stopped. I couldn't run, not from him, not from my beloved father. But father didn't attack me. He just hugged me so tight and cried. Father, he told me he loved me, that he always would, that I will forever be his precious daughter, and he told me to run, that he would tell everyone he killed me, that my body fell into the river and got swept away. I didn't get to say goodbye. The angry mob was getting closer. I had to run. Her voice becomes so quiet that I can barely hear her. I'm so sorry, Father. If I hadn't been born the way I was, I'm so sorry. Shizuka remains silent as tears continue to roll down her pale cheeks. In that moment, I realize that my own face has become stained with tears. It's then that I want to reach out to her, that I want to reach out and hug this sad, gentle woman who will one day become my mother. After I escaped what was my home, I wandered the lands trying to find somewhere safe for me to stay. I traveled at night, staying away from people where there were any. And one foggy night I happened upon a shrine. Even back then it looked as ancient as the mountains. I was greeted by the guardian of the shrine, Yori, though at first he appeared to me as a wolf. He told me that the place was called Shiki Shrine. He said that it existed between worlds and that it was a safe place for sorcerers and other forsaken creatures. Shiki Shrine is where I learned so much as a sorceress. I stayed there for a while before setting off to travel the world. Yori made me a special charm before I left, one that would help me understand anyone around the world. And so while I traveled, I helped anyone who needed it. Eventually, I made a name for myself. I made friends along the way. But due to a mistake on my part, I nearly died. No, I'm sure I was about to. I was with a friend at the time, and in trying to save me, I was cursed. The curse itself was not the intended result, but... Shizuka sighs. I've always thought the curse might be of the permanent kind, and now, seeing that I had to transfer it, I am truly sorry for what I have done to you, and I am so very sorry that I will have to do it. Even with you here like this, I cannot change things for you. I'm sorry. I nod. As much as I would love for things to be different, I also understand. Looking at Shizuka, I can't help but feel sorry for her. I feel like I finally have the full picture of it, and I must admit that I can't really judge her. How can I possibly judge her after what I myself have done? Yeah, Nader. This is like the very last thing that we're doing, so it all kind of like comes together. And now we've really resented her, and now we understand each other, so we've come
But
full
daddy is a
circle.
state of mind, you know what I'm saying?
You're my
I'm your
daddy.
daddy.
Hi, Daddy. Welcome in, Daddy. But yeah, it's good. It's such a... when I first played this, I really liked that. Because then you, like, come to understand her. Because for all this time, you've really been resenting her, and you don't like her, and you're like, why the hell did you do this? And, like, they really make it make sense. It's good. It's good shit. But yeah, it's kind of sad. Thank you for telling me. I think I understand things a little better now. Thank you for hearing me out, and for sharing your tale as well. We fall silent once more, but it feels comfortable, and yet I still can't shake the unsettling feeling gripping at my heart. Mother? Yes? I feel nervous about what's going to happen with this fight with Sunika, especially because I know that it's probably the cause of her anger later. I'm worried about Hikaru. It is possible that we may lose Hikaru, as unlike us, he is mortal. And how do you feel about that? I will do what I can to avoid losing yet another brother. A yawn escapes my lips, and Shizuka only gives me a little smile. You should rest while you can. Suddenly too tired to argue, I only nod. I get comfortable under the cherry blossom tree next to my mother. I quickly find myself falling asleep. The last thing I remember before slumber takes me is the feeling of a gentle hand stroking my hair, and a soft voice whispering, "Good night." Day 8. It's afternoon on my 8th day with Hikaru and Shizuka. We've made it back to Miyazawa village, and it has finally come time to part ways with Hikaru's friend Sina. As Sina stands there looking like she wants to cry, I wonder just how close did the two become during Hikaru's stay here. Yeah, you probably don't want to ruminate on that too much. Hikaru, be safe, okay? I understand it if you can't come back to see me for a while, or even forever, but wherever you're going, I hope that you're always safe and happy. Aw, thank you, Sina. I will do my best. I have people to protect, after all, and I promise that I will come back someday, as soon as I can. Sina gives Hikaru a hug, and he embraces her in return. I hope you make good on both promises. Sina and Hikaru separate, and Sina bows to both Shizuka and Dai. Thank you both for all your help. I had a lot of fun with all of you. Please take care of Hikaru. I hope you have safe travels. Sayonara! Sina's voice breaks on her last word, and almost immediately she runs away. She starts running down the path as her eyes follow her shrinking form. Hikaru stares after her, a deep sadness in his eyes. I wonder if he'll ever see her again. At least she's lucky that he'll always remember her. After replenishing our supplies, Hikaru, Shizuka, and I begin our journey down the mountain towards Sunika. I picked up some more information on the situation in town, and dropped a little too. What do you mean? Did you find out exactly what's going on? I did. Apparently, Sunika's lover has been killed. Tokyo? Suddenly, everything makes sense. You don't get to even fucking touch him! You honestly thought I'd let you touch him after you let those disgusting humans get away with murder? You're the reason that I lost track of those who took him away from me. You're the reason I can't avenge Tokyo. You can't possibly know the pain of losing the other part of your soul. So we're going to stop Sunika, who apparently thinks she's avenging Tokyo. I don't really know how to feel about all that, so I ask Hikaru instead. What could possibly kill a god? But Hikaru shakes his head. I don't know the details. Just that the few that escaped her wrath have said that she was yelling his name. There are ways for gods to die. Not many, but other than being killed by another god, there are certain objects. So it is likely Tokyo was killed by another god or one of these objects. The question is why. Thinking of gods killing each other? It's terrifying. So it is. I can't help but feel bad for Sunika though. She's in pain. But still, she is hurting innocent people for it. I can't abide by that either. Hikaru nods. I agree. I pity her. But she is a goddess. She should be using her power to protect people, not destroy them. Those people had nothing to do with Tokyo's death. It is likely this is a divine matter. But according to stories, Sunika never has seemed the most devout, kind, nor stable goddess. It is possible this event has broken her psyche entirely. Going through traumatic experiences, losing someone who was the other half of her soul, not all of us can get through painful experiences whole. We all grimly nod, no doubt thinking about our own past. Still, if she's killing people, then I get it. I get why we have to stop her. Where is she? Since she is a goddess, she can essentially travel anywhere she wants to. That is why I thought luring her would be the best solution. I put out some information that her lover's killer was hiding in a nearby cave. I do not know if it'll work, but it is our only chance of getting near her. Yes, this cave is one I happened to find only by accident myself many years ago. It is said if you go inside you will never come out alive, so hardly anyone visits it. I investigated and found out there is simply a seemingly endless drop-off inside. Sounds terrifying. Yes, but a perfect place to seal a goddess. Seal? Is that what we're going to do? Well, we are unable to kill her. After I discussed it with Shizuka, we agreed this was the only option. I hope it works. I mean, she's free in my timeline after all. It is all we can do. I have acquired the spell required to seal a god, so I will spend our rest time while we travel preparing and studying it. We cannot afford to make any mistakes. Having discussed our plan made up on a hope and a prayer, we continue on our way. Day 9. For the next day and a half, we would travel to the cave where my journey would end. Shizuka studies, I practice, and we all prepare for the upcoming fight. But I can't stop the growing heavy feeling in my heart. Wow, that was fast. Day 10. Are y'all ready? Last day. Kate's log, day 10. It's dawn of my final day with Hikaru and my mother. We got to the area surrounding the cave a half day ago. With nothing else to do, we camped out in a nearby field. Shizuka and Hikaru were certain that Sunika wouldn't be hiding her energy in the state she was in, instead they'd be able to sense it. My own sensing is still fledgling at this time, but I'm certain I'll be able to feel such a massive power too. It's got us all tense, and we didn't talk much in the past day, other than to discuss our plan and battle tactics. Now, at dawn, as I've become accustomed to waking, I find myself taking a walk before even Shizuka is awake. However, Hikaru was missing when I awoke. I wonder where he is. I could have sworn I heard Shizuka and him having an argument last night. But that was probably just a dream. They get along so well. I've never seen them fight. In fact, it seems like they're pretty much the polar opposite of me and Hikaru. We don't really fight that much either. What do you mean? Something in me isn't worried, though. I feel almost as if I can sense him nearby. Subconsciously, I know that's where my aimless feet are headed, directly to him. Within minutes, I find that I'm right when I see a form with long dark hair before me. I pause a moment before walking toward him. Hikaru is facing the approaching dawn rather than me, but he doesn't startle when I walk up next to him. We don't say anything for a while, only letting the wind blow between us. Then Hikaru begins to speak. Do you feel it too? I think so. This ominous feeling. I am not sure what it is, or what will happen here. I can only guess at it. There's no way to stop her, is there? No, not permanently. There is a ritual to seal her away, but she wouldn't allow that to happen a second time. I think that will succeed in sealing her. At least, that's what's supposed to happen. I have no idea if my presence messed anything up. It's hard to say what carries over. The Hikaru I know didn't even know me, so... Are you certain? Huh? Perhaps you've just made a new future, where I'll remember you. Timelines are not something I'm familiar with, not when chaos is involved. I'm just saying, who knows what will happen? But I am glad I met you. Oh, you are very courageous. To have done everything you have for me, jumping right into the affairs of the gods with little knowledge, and now you have traveled with us in an unfamiliar period of time without complaint, helping however you can. Even now, you stand with us before a battle with a goddess. Well, it's not really like I had a choice in any of this. Oh, Nader, the music is so good. I love the music in this game. And if there's a way to help someone, then I have to do it. But you did. You always have the choice to do nothing, to run away. You never have. And that attitude is exactly what I admire about you. Those powers were forced on you. Your training was forced on you. Sunika forced the situation on you. Yet, you did not run. You could have returned to your own time, or refused to come with us. Or simply complained and cried the whole way. But instead, you've been doing your best. You have never been handed a fair deal in life. Even your existence was created for a preordained destiny. Perhaps it's true you could not escape any of it, but you have handled it admirably, always trying to improve yourself, endure, and help others however you can. Hikaru reaches out to touch my hot cheek. His hand feels so cool against my heated skin, and I dearly hope he can't tell I'm blushing. I think he can. He has eyes. Why are you saying this stuff all of a sudden? I don't like it. It feels like you're saying goodbye. I do not know why I'm saying this. Perhaps I am saying goodbye, but it makes me feel comforted to think that someone like you is on my side, because I know you will never give up, and it makes me happy to think that one day in the far future, we will meet again. Thank you, Kate, for all that you have done and will do for me. I do not know that I deserve it, but I appreciate it. Hikaru pulls back his hand, but in a sudden urge of emotion, I grasp it. But you do deserve it. You said all those things about me, but I think you're even better. You're the one that's good. Because you did have a choice. You could have taken your powers and done nothing with them, or even done evil things like Sunika. But in every timeline I've met you, every single version of you was doing your best to help people. You don't deserve all of the bad shit that's happened to you. You're always helping people to do to the best of your ability, no matter when or where or who you are. Hi, Reaper. Even despite the scary moments and the painful losses in your past, you kept going. You're the true hero here. Kate. I tighten my grip on Hikaru's hand, not quite sure of what I myself am doing as I begin to tear up. Hikaru, I have a bad feeling about this sealing. I've learned so much, but I'm still not sure what happens here. I just want you to run away. Run far away from Sunika and her insanity, and she'll never set her sights on you. She'll never come after you. Then you won't have to suffer through all the terrible things she's done. Then you won't have to die like that in the future. I don't even know if I can get your soul fragments. I don't even know if you're still alive. A finger is suddenly placed to my lips, and I instantly go silent from surprise. Hikaru removes his finger and then places a hand over his heart, closing his eyes. I am not sure what he's doing until a light surrounds his hand and coalesces into several soul fragments. These are... How? You said you couldn't. I could not. You are correct. Then how? I am able to communicate with my mother through our divine connection. I was able to ask her about the ritual for it last night. Oh. The box! It's been so long that I needed it, I almost forgot about it. I summon the soul box. As soon as I open the lid, the soul fragments get sucked in and the box closes itself. With the fragments safely inside, the box disappears on its own in a burst of light. Huh? That doesn't normally happen. I owe you an apology. What? What for? Because I did not trust you at first. I thought of you only as a vile illusion, some sort of evil doppelganger of Lady Shizuka. I thought you were only here to misguide us, to hurt the woman I love. His words shake me, making me feel sick down to my core. But I realized that I already knew since the moment I saw them together. I knew that Shizuka was the woman Hikaru loved. Oh, well, I don't entirely blame you for that. You didn't know who I was. But I did not give you a chance either. And after all that you've been doing for me, I treated you badly. Not only that, but I could have spoken to my mother back then, on the first night. It does take time, effort, and focus, and she does not always answer right away, but I did not even try. Why not? Because you didn't trust me? Hikaru nods. I did not want to give my soul fragments over to someone I did not trust. That seems pretty valid. Not even if it's from a future Hikaru's soul. I think that's understandable too. And it seems like the ritual wouldn't have worked anyway if you didn't trust me. That is true, but still, you are very kind to understand and forgive so easily. Right back at you. Kate, now that you have my fragments, you should be able to leave, right? Normally, yes. But this is the first time my entire body was pulled along and Galen still isn't answering. I'm surprised you were able to reach your mother. Maybe you could ask her to send me back now. But, oh. No. I want to stay here till this fight is over at least. So you better not pull me out in the middle of the fight again. You hear that, Galen? I would prefer not to risk you or Lady Shizuka if possible. That's sweet, but I'm staying. I can fight too, you know. You said it yourself. I won't stop trying to help if there's something I can do. That's who I am. I'm well aware. But then you have to accept my decision not to run away from this fight, even if it ends in a bad future for me. I can't let innocents get hurt. I won't stop trying to help if there's something I can do. That's who I am. I will accept your decision. I sigh. Fine. I have no choice but to accept your decision. I respect you too much to do otherwise. I won't try to control your life or tell you what to do, even if it is a stupid decision. Oh, listen. Thanks. An intense oppressive feeling suddenly vibrates through my entire body. My skin prickles and my hair stands on end. A grim expression spreads across Hikaru's face. Is it Sunika? Hikaru nods. She's here. We went to wake Shizuka, only to find that she was already up when we got back to the campsite. Of course, just like us, she had felt Sunika's presence. The three of us had run lightning fast to the cave, taking benefit of Hikaru's winds to push us along. Now we stand outside of the entrance. It's clear from the screams of rage that Sunika is already inside. It's terrifying facing her again, but I've been trained and I've survived everything she's managed to do. And I have powerful people I love by my side. I can do this. I can help them. I'm a little surprised by my own admission of love, but I shove it to the back of my mind. There's no time to talk, but we manage to share a tense glance. It's time. I can tell that at this moment, we're all in sync with each other, with the same feelings and thoughts. Hikaru leads us in.
We'll do it live! Fuck it!
Sunika's crazed screams echo through the cave as soon as we enter. I see only a flash before Hikaru stands in front of us in his god form. Sunika no Mikado! His deeper than usual voice thunders through the cavern and I have to place a hand on my heart. Gods are terrifying. I ignore everything in me telling me to run and stay where I am. Within moments, Sunika warps into view before us. I stagger back from the force of her presence. The heat in the air from her energy makes me feel as if I'm going to incinerate on contact. Shizuka immediately throws up a barrier that relieves the heat and pressure. Wow, she's so strong. They all are. You are the ones who took him away. How dare you deceive us? Sunika throws a hand toward Hikaru, summoning a giant orb to her small hand. I can feel the heat even through Shizuka's barrier. As Sunika launches the light orb at Hikaru, I throw up my own barrier to protect him. Hikaru puts his hand up at the same time and the orb collides into my barrier, exploding into 1,000,000 points of light on contact. Hikaru blows them away, towards Sunika, who screams. As she does, they disintegrate in midair. I am not the one who murdered Tokyo no Mikoto. You have been caught in our trap, Weaver of Time. This is where your rampage on innocent lives stops. With this proclamation, Sunika roars in pain and anguish so overwhelming that I'm forced to my knees. Shizuka next to me bows under the pressure of Sunika's power, but her barrier only bends, not breaks. If we didn't have this barrier, we would be dead by now. With a yell of his own, Hikaru puts out his sword, now imbued with light. Gale-force winds suddenly whip around him as he launches himself at Sunika. His winds are so strong that I have to erect another barrier of my own to protect us from them. I glance at Shizuka and she nods. She quickly begins the sealing ritual. It's my job to protect us while Hikaru distracts her, but seeing Sunika float around in and out of space-time while dodging and weaving Hikaru's sword attacks, it scares me. Makes me terrified of what she'll do when he stops attacking. Shizuka keeps her eyes on Sunika's moving form, chanting in a language I cannot even begin to recognize. Her slender hands move tirelessly, forming symbol after symbol as she continues to keep the crazed goddess in her sight. While Shizuka does her thing, I focus all of my energy into protecting us. My barrier protects us from the wind, the divine orb she keeps tossing, and the sheer pressure of both their presences. It takes everything I have, and I'm soaked with sweat in minutes. I can barely afford to even process what's happening in the fight, and they've gotten so fast that I can't even see them. Despite the very real life or something probably worse than death situation facing all of us, I can only think one stupid, inane thought. Watching them fight at this power and these speeds is like something out of an anime. I chuckle at myself as a bead of sweat drops. Funny how the mind will do anything to get away from the sheer stress and terror of a situation. That's when Shizuka yells for the first time that I can remember in my life. Hikaru, it is ready. The sealing ritual. It's time. Hikaru immediately throws his sword at Sunika and she slaps it away with her power. But at that same moment, Hikaru tackles the tiny goddess. She screams in rage as she ungracefully falls to the ground, the large demigod almost comically struggling with her tiny body as they roll around. She even has her super strength too? Immediately I can see an issue we didn't foresee. Or maybe I was the only one who didn't see it. Didn't want to see it. Hikaru's clothes are starting to burn away as an intense force emanates from the goddess's body. Even his hair, which is being blown back by the force, is beginning to disintegrate. Hikaru! The goddess is clearly doing everything she can to get him off of her, even if that means she has to incinerate him. I can see wounds and burns forming on Hikaru's body through the tattered clothing. It's clear that a lesser being would have been dead a long time ago. Shizuka, now! Everything seems to move in slow motion. Shizuka's hair blowing about, at times revealing the pain on her face as she realizes that there's truly no other choice. The complex hand motion she begins to perform while tears run down her face, the numbness spreading down to my core. Because there's nothing I can do about it. Because I understand what's happening now. Because I now understand how Hikaru will spend the next 500 years. Trapped in this cave with this insane goddess. By now, Hikaru is a bloody mess, covered in wounds to the point of being near unrecognizable. I can't do anything, though. I can't feel anything. All I can do is protect the woman you love. All I can do is this. I'm so sorry, Hikaru. Shizuka presses both of her hands outward then, and light shoots up from the ground beneath the grappling gods. It instantly stops them where they are, with Sunika's hands around Hikaru's throat. The points of light slowly begin to increase, merging into a wall of light. As they do, Sunika's eyes grow wide. What are you doing, Chaos Witch? Stopping you. Without thinking, as the two begin to disappear in the light, I start to run towards them. But then I feel hands on my arms, preventing me. I look back to see Shizuka holding me back with both of her arms, tears in her eyes. You cannot. It is too late for him, and you would be sealed too. Once the sealing process has begun, no one can escape. Not even a god. I look back toward the seal, feeling utterly helpless. The light is so bright, I can't even see the two anymore. I'm not sure I can see anything anymore. But Hikaru's choked voice floats to my ears. I love you. Take care of each other. The light becomes so intense that even closing my eyes shows me nothing but white light. I feel a painless but intense heat and pressure. Whew. And then that's it. It goes completely dark. Alright, everybody take a deep breath. That was a lot. I open my eyes, but I see no one there. Hikaru? I run to the spot where the two were, looking around. Shizuka walks up beside me, looking as miserable and weary as I feel. Where is he? In another dimension. Or perhaps it would be accurate to say he is trapped between dimensions. He is still here, but also not here. Shizuka sinks to her knees, but I reflexively catch her and hold her up. I am sorry, Hikaru. My little brother. We stand there for a few minutes, sweating and breathing heavily, staring at nothing, feeling nothing. Then Shizuka speaks. There is nothing left here. We should go. I numbly nod and reluctantly turning away from the last place I saw Hikaru leave the cave with my mother. When we walk outside, I squint against the setting sun's rays. I look back toward the cave in confusion. How? The Weaver of Time. We were all exposed to her magic. Who knows what time or day it is, or what exactly happened in there. I sigh, and Shizuka and I continued to walk away from the cave, through the same field that I had just walked through with Hikaru. I walk until the shock finally wears off, and I collapse to my knees in tears. Without the adrenaline coursing through me, emotions overwhelmed me, and I'm reduced to a sobbing mess in the grass and dirt. Shizuka kneels next to me in the grass, placing a hand on my back. The view of gently waving grass in the fading light is too beautiful, too peaceful for all of the pain and horror that just occurred. It's just a reminder of how time goes on with or without you, and with or without Hikaru. I hear a quiet voice in my head that I recognize as Galen's. Finally, it is time for you to return. I have to go. Galen says so. I'm so sorry, Mother. I will miss you. Shizuka pulls me into a tight hug, shocking me. I can't remember the last time I was hugged by her. Despite the events, I am happy to have had the chance to meet you. I'm so proud to have a daughter like you. Then she releases me with a sad smile. Mother, I think that I can finally say that I'm proud to have a mother like you, too. Her youthful smile, illuminated by the evening sun, lined with centuries of sorrow and weariness. Sayonara, Hikaru. And sayonara, Mother. It's the last thing I see before I'm teleported away. Right, return to the present. Cosmos of the Last Sorceress, first chapter. This time, when I come back to the Chaos Realm, I'm suspended in air for just a moment. But instead of dropping gently to the ground, I sink straight down to the floor. What's wrong with me? Why can't I stand? Why am I getting so emotional? It's not like I didn't know this was going to happen. Still, tears trickle down my face, uncaring of my logic. We didn't really expect a lot of that to happen, honestly. I don't see Galen or Haruka, and frankly, I don't care right now. Hikaru. I want to see Hikaru. It's the same Hikaru I just lost, right? Even if he doesn't remember me. I stand up and look for his floating form. My eyes immediately spot him, together with Haruka. I dash over to the two. I stare into Hikaru's face before finally noticing Haruka's expression. Haruka? What's the matter? Oh, I'm sorry if y'all can hear that. They should be almost done. Oh, Kate, I'm so glad you're back. The goddess unexpectedly gives me a tight hug. It's Hikaru. He won't wake up. even though I summoned the box to me and placed in the last soul fragments he retrieved. So that was you. Wait, what do you mean he won't wake up? I look at Hikaru's sleeping face and a sickening dread grips my core. I understood her perfectly well. I just don't want to. Have I failed? A sob rips through the goddess before she can speak. For the third time today, I find my legs giving out before me. Hikaru. Hikaru, you trusted in me, and I... Large fat drops of water fall from my eyes onto my clenched hands. Haruka begins wringing her hands and pacing around Hikaru's body. This can't be right. He isn't supposed to die. Not like this. Not like this, no. Never like this.
Not like this. Not like this.
This isn't natural. It's not... How can this be order? How can this be right? I'm too numb to even properly process Haruka's words, much less respond to them. I'm sorry. I should have saved him back then. I shouldn't have let him get sealed. I'm sorry. She jerks her head around and looks towards somewhere else while still wringing her hands. But I can't stop staring at Hikaru. Galen! Please come! The god walks up to us, slowly materializing as if he walked out of some invisible mist. His eyes momentarily flit to me before landing on the distressed Haruka. Yes? I need you to fix this, please. Every word the goddess says sounds like a struggle to get out. This isn't right. You can fix not right things. Can't you? Please. I know it's wrong, but you have to. I can't lose my only son like this. He doesn't deserve it. Please, please. Please, Galen. I finally look up at Haruka and see all of the anger and pain in her eyes. She's normally such a gentle goddess, so it hurts even more that she's been turned into this. By me. By my own failure to save her son. You are fully aware that what I bring back may not be the same Hikaru. He is not so insignificant that bringing him back would not affect anything. You know the potential consequences. I want my son back. The universe be damned. Her soft voice turned into a ragged yell echoes through the empty Colosseum. Do you really mean that, Windwalker? We turn to see Sunika approach, an inscrutable expression upon her face. For the first time, it isn't fear that springs forth inside of me. It's hatred. As I jump up and get in between her and Haruka, I feel my own powers destabilizing, my control on them loosening. You. What the hell are you doing here? But Sunika doesn't even acknowledge me. Her eyes are solely on Haruka. You would really forsake the entire universe just for your son? You, who has always followed the rules nearly perfectly? Aren't you being hypocritical? Of all people, how dare you speak to me? Haruka's voice takes on a distorted, echoing quality, and I feel the hair on the back of my neck prickle. Intense winds begin blowing in what is normally a still place. Haruka? So the gentle little bunny has some fight in her. Not bad. I always thought you were too busy kissing divine ass or fucking around with humans to... I managed to get out of the way just in time. I just narrowly avoid a huge gust of wind that blows Sunika across the Colosseum into a pillar. You took him away. Everyone is hurting because of you. I won't let you get away with hurting Hikaru. Sunika groans as she unearths herself from the pillar. I find myself in horror as I remember that Haruka is a goddess as well, however weak she may be compared to Sunika. I clench my fist and let my power surge through me as well. She wants to fight to avenge Hikaru. If this is all I can do now, then... You just made your first and last mistake, weakling. Sunika quickly summons a much larger ball of light than I'd ever seen back in the cave. She immediately hurls it at Haruka, though it's large enough to hit me as well. I can't stop something that strong this fast. I don't even have time to close my eyes. But then the ball of light disappears in midair. Now, I wouldn't interfere, but I can't let you do that. Sunika practically growls in rage at having her attack stopped, but then she makes a move I couldn't predict. She teleports right to Hikaru. No! I throw myself at his body, protectively covering it with my own. Again, everything seems to happen all at once. I see Galen raise his hand, at the same time as Sunika brings a whip of light down toward me. A bright light. Did I actually get killed this time, or... I hear Sunika's all too familiar scream of rage. I blink the spots away, and... Hikaru! Hikaru stands in front of me in his god form, glowing with divine light and surrounded by winds. How? How are you alive? Before I can fully comprehend what the hell just happened, I have a strange sensation of shifting somehow, of time itself ceasing to exist. I look around and realize that we're now in that place, the place I almost faded away into nothingness. Sunika's realm, outside of time. The only people who exist here are me, Sunika, and the god that I still can't believe is actually Hikaru. The man actually smirks. You look pretty pissed. I guess you're just not that good at murder. No, it's definitely Hikaru. An eerie calm suddenly overtakes Sunika as she gives a crazed, lopsided grin. I'm so sorry. I promise. I'll do it right this time. Sunika creates countless light particles with her hands, each one seemingly moving at her will. The lights dance around her before she pushes her hands out, directing the lights to shoot off at Hikaru as if they were missiles. Hikaru holds out his hand, summoning a katana-shaped sword of light. He deflects them by creating a gust of wind with a slash of his sword. Sunika laughs. We're in my realm now. Time and space itself bends to my will. Does a piece of half-human trash like you really think you have any chance at all? I blink and Sunika is suddenly behind Hikaru with another whip of light. I instantly raise my hands, raising an invisible barrier with it. The goddess's whip comes down on my barrier and it collapses, but her light whip dissipates on contact. She looks at me for the first time as if just noticing my presence. A decidedly disgusted look appears on her face as if I were rotting garbage. Hikaru turns around to look at me, smiling. I get a sudden urge to cry, but I shove down the lump in my throat and raise my hands in a battle stance. He does, because he's not alone. I know you probably brought me here just to watch him die again, but things are different this time. I'll save Hikaru this time. And just who are you, exactly? At first I did think you were Shizuka, but it's clear that I've insulted the witch. You're just a pathetic copy, aren't you? A fake of the real thing. I'm not going to lie. It hurts when she says that. But looking at Hikaru floating behind her, I remember his words from that night. I look back at Sunika. You want to know the name of the woman who's going to stop you? Fair enough. My name is Kate, and I am the last sorceress. Sunika frowns and starts to summon some kind of light. But Hikaru immediately slashes at her with his own light sword from behind, forcing her to jump back. I take the opportunity to send bolts of lightning down at her. But before I can, she's suddenly behind me. But the air around me goes crazy, turning into a cyclone that knocks Sunika away. I glance at Hikaru and it's clear we've got each other's backs. I get it. She can warp space-time, so we have to protect each other and try to keep her off guard, or we're dead. It's terrifying to say the least, but my own anger and determination to save Hikaru drown that all out. I can't help but think of Haruka's crying face, or Hikaru's last words as he sacrificed himself to seal Sunika in the past. I won't mess up this time. I won't let him go. Hikaru quickly moves in on Sunika, slashing at her with his sword. I begin to understand that this is a fight that could literally go on for an eternity, them being gods and me being immortal. Except that my body is still human, I still get tired. Sunika creates a spear of light just as Hikaru's sword crashes down on her. With a strange clang, the two divine weapons clash against each other. The force of the impact sends Hikaru a few steps backward and Sunika's spear to dissipate. Desperately, I rack my brain trying to think of some way to get out of this alive, and hopefully without any missing limbs. Why? Why is she fighting us anyway? Why does she hate us so much? Is it just because she's insane? The goddess screams and pulls at the air, creating another spear of light that she immediately throws at Hikaru. I push my hands upwards, creating an ice barrier in front of Hikaru. The spear lodges itself in the ice, but it doesn't come close to going through it. Before Sunika can react, I create a whip of fire and whip it at her. As it wraps around her, I pull, tightening it around her. No, she said we stopped her from avenging Tokyo. I guess I really did now, but why was she killing humans anyway? She struggles against the fiery bind, and I see the orange flames slowly turn white. The whip turns from fire to light and dissipates in one brilliant flash of light. My ears ring and my vision is blurred. I can hardly see anything in front of me other than a bright light heading towards me. I quickly blink away the haziness to see a spear of light heading right for me. I rush to throw up a barrier, but even as I do, the spear goes right through it, stopping only a few centimeters from my face. Sunika happily cackles away and conjures up yet another spear, tossing it at me with unrestrained glee. Hikaru rushes forward, and their weapons clash with that same strange clang. He knocks the spear out of the air, and it flies somewhere off to the side. Hikaru then charges at Sunika. She conjures yet another spear, but Hikaru moves so fast that she only has time to block his attack. He pushes down on her and she jumps back, almost stumbling backwards. The two move in for another attack. Hikaru and Shizuka said he was likely killed by gods or with an artifact. Normal humans probably wouldn't have that, so... Coming up with an idea quickly, I decide to take a chance. Sunika, what if I said I knew who killed Tokyo? Would you stop all this madness? Sunika pauses at the mention of Tokyo's name, and Hikaru stops mid-attack. He instead holds his light sword defensively. I'm guessing he figured out what I'm doing. In a hoarse, shaking, and pained voice, Sunika points a finger at me. If you're fucking with me, you will die, witch. Ignoring her insult for the sake of our only chance, I continue. 500 years ago, after Tokyo was murdered, you killed humans. Why? I was... the grief. My... anger. Seeing that she's beginning to lose her tenuous grip on her emotions, I quickly continue on. Can a human kill a god so easily, though? I don't know how it happened, but... Limply floating in mid-air, Sunika interrupts me in a hollow voice, as if in a trance. He went out. He went out to help them. I found him. Dead. A pool of his own blood. A divine knife. His eye. Humans surrounding him. Sunika's head falls, as if all the life had drained out of her. She's completely silent, and I find myself unable to speak. I can't see her face anymore. Her hair is covering it, but in a tiny voice she continues to speak. Why did he have to die? He was so pure, so bright and beautiful. When he was happy, he radiated light. He was so kind. Everyone loved him. He didn't deserve it. I'm the horrible person. No one's ever really cared for me, except him, my beautiful, precious love. It should have been me. When I felt like I had lost Hikaru so many times, I've only begun to comprehend the pain and despair that Sunika must feel. But even a fraction of that is too much to bear. That's when Hikaru's deep but gentle voice echoes through the space. I can't give you a clear answer, but you might have been deceived, goddess. The gods are a treacherous sort. It's more likely that they were the ones who took Tokyo away from you. Huh? Sunika looks up now, with tears streaming from her face. She looks more like a hopeless little girl right now than a powerful goddess. Doesn't it make sense? Your reputation in the divine realm. You've said it yourself. That's why you chose to live in other timelines, isn't it? Instead of in that realm. Humans back then were terrified of gods. It's very unlikely they would have outright killed one. But other gods... Yes, you're right. Sunika's powers recede back into her, and I let out a sigh of relief. Those bastards. They've always had it out for me. I know part of it was because they were always jealous of my power. But that's just such a petty reason to kill my love. And in the end, that would mean his only crime was loving me. Tokyo was murdered because he dared to love a miserable person like me. We're at an impasse. Sunika has stopped, but I find myself unable to just leave her like this, even if she would let us. Why don't we call Galen then? If anyone would be able to help you with these answers, it's him. Galen? Fine. I'll find out if you're telling the truth. Sunika takes a deep breath, but when she calls out, her voice seems to lack all energy. Yo, emo grandpa. I know you don't have anything else to do, so that means you're listening, right? Then just come here already. Sunika adds with a tired smile. I even left the back door open for you. In the blink of an eye, Galen stands before her, wordlessly looking down at her tiny form. Hey, I got a question for you. And if I don't like the answer, well, you know what? I don't think I care anymore if you do kill me. I'm tired. Tired of fighting. Tired of feeling like shit. Tired of hurting people. Then speak, O Weaver of Time. I need to know the truth. Who was it that killed Tokyo? I suspect it was the gods. Do you know of anyone in the divine realm that might have hated Sunika no Mikoto enough? Galen tilts his head, his aura flaring so suddenly that I can barely stop myself from stumbling backwards. More than you might have guessed, it seems. But there are 3 in particular that seem to have left traces of their auras in the area where Tokyo was killed. It is a little unusual for 3 gods to be anywhere near such an event as the murder scene of another god, no? If you know who they are, just say it. Galen looks back at the tiny goddess, who seems to be growing increasingly annoyed by the second. The trio is one you happen to know. Shall I summon them for you? Sunika wordlessly snaps her fingers, bringing forth 3 cloaked figures in the middle of our odd little circle. They all look at each other, and then around at us in confusion. Demetria, Soto, and Carabal. 3 weakling sacks of shit. It's honestly hard to get angry at such inconsequential maggots. You bitch. You're still alive? Why have you summoned us here? Do you think we have time to waste? We were in the middle of a council vote. Yeah, you gods and your damned voting on every friggin' thing. I know I shouldn't be surprised, but you have a lot of nerve for bugs that are going to be squashed. Most do tend to posture in these sort of situations. They immediately stiffen upon the god's words and take a better look at the company around them. What is going on? What's going on indeed? You're hanging out with the god killer now? Your preferences have managed to fall even lower. Ah! Sunika throws out a hand, and Demetrius' hands go to his throat. The only god killer I'm talking to right now is you. What? You fucking heard me. You killed Tokyo, didn't you? All 3 of the gods cringe at the force of her words. An explosion of power emanates from Sunika and through the gods, holding them all perfectly still. I try not to think about it, but I'd been the victim of this once before, when she'd stopped time. Answer me. It seems like you've got your mind made up, so why should we answer you? If you tell me why you did it, I might consider letting you go. You really think we'll believe that? What options do you have? You 3 are low-tier gods. I think even I could take you in a fight. Just try it, freak. Shut up. You have the honor of speaking to me, so you damn well better pay attention. The hooded gods fall silent, and I feel thankful for the first time not to be on the receiving end of Sunika's wrath. I will ask you once again. Why the hell did you kill Tokyo? Because it would hurt you. What? You wanted to know the answer, so we told you. You were nothing but trouble in the divine realm, prancing around with your oh-so-special time magic, so disrespectful of everything and the rules. Did you really think we, as self-respecting gods, would let that go? We thought we'd teach you a lesson you wouldn't forget. Punish that damned arrogant attitude of yours. It doesn't matter how weak you think we are. We're still your elder gods, and we deserved respect. We knew you'd go nuts on the humans and break all the rules. We figured you'd get exiled or your godhood stripped or killed, whatever the council decided. Anything was better than spending thousands of years with your shitty attitude, playing jokes on everyone. The council was working on deciding what to do with you when the half-human and sorcerers sealed you away. Solved our problem for us, neat and tidy. Thanks for that, by the way. The gods nod to Hikaru, and I feel my fist tighten into a ball. You were just using everyone? And then you blamed the humans for it? Sunika's voice is barely above a whisper when she finally speaks. That's why Tokyo is gone? Because you were tired of me? You're disgusting. How dare you call yourselves gods? I see some things never change, no matter the era. Sunika's head falls down to her chest, her hair covering her face. But she snaps out a hand, and upon clenching it, all three gods scream in agony. Galen casually strides closer to Sunika. He casts a single lazy glance at the screaming gods before turning his focus onto her. Simply wiping these three out of existence is a waste. Normally, I would let you do as you please, but in this case, we might have a use for them. Sunika doesn't change her position, and the god screams echo throughout the dimension. Use them for what? They're fucking useless. I propose a trade. Their lives for that of your lover. Sunika's head snaps up and the god screaming stops. What? Ah, it makes sense. A life for a life. But these guys, who knows what their fates will be? I can't say I'm comfortable with it, but it's not my place to judge here. Sunika floats to Galen and stares at him. Can you really do it, Galen? Can you really bring Tokyo back? Yes, a simple enough matter. With these three to even the scales, it will be easy enough. Then please do it. Do whatever you need to do. Very well. Come then. We will do what needs to be done. Galen turns to face us. As for you two, well done. We will meet again soon. Thank you, Galen. I nod along vigorously, realizing that I've come to have some sort of affection for this ancient god. Yes, thank you. Galen raises his hands, his fingers poised to snap. Final chapter. Are we ready? I'm completely disoriented by the sudden change in scenery, as well as feeling solid floor beneath my feet. I'm unsteady, but manage not to fall. Hikaru's hand shoots out to grab my arm anyway. Are you okay? Yeah, just a little tired, confused. I can't believe I'm actually finally back here. Me neither. Hikaru transforms back into his normal self, and I find myself on the verge of tears. This Hikaru, it feels like it's been ages since I've seen him. Well, I guess it has been. But he was unconscious the whole time. And those other Hikarus weren't him. He doesn't remember any of that stuff. Pain shoots through my heart, but I'm happy too, and so relieved that I finally was able to save him. Mother? I realize there's another woman in the room. She walks toward Hikaru with tears in her eyes, her arms outstretched. He meets her in a hug and she doesn't let go. Hikaru, I'm so glad you're alive. My heart squeezes painfully, but in a good way, because the entire time I was fighting for Haruka too. So many emotions, and I don't remember the last time I slept. I'd better sit down. I managed to wobble my way over to the floor cushions and sit down. I sigh. It was probably the deepest sigh of relief I've ever had in my life. Haruka spends a few moments examining Hikaru, asking him if he's all right and checking him over while he insists that he is. Finally, Haruka looks at me. Kate, thank you. In the end, you were able to save him. Huh? Oh, I guess so. I actually don't really know what happened in the end. Why Hikaru revived when he did. That's simple. Haruka giggles. Well, I figured it out anyway. You had a piece of Hikaru's soul fragment within you. What? How is that even possible? I don't know. I guess because you were there when his soul was fragmented, it attached to you. But I'm not Hikaru. So how could that happen? I'd say he bonded with you, because your soul vibrates at a similar frequency as someone he cared about a lot. Shizuka. Right. Of course he'd cling to Shizuka. But now that I look at the two of you, I don't think that's it at all. I think when you tried to sacrifice yourself to protect Hikaru, it was Hikaru's will to protect you that released it. His will to protect me? Haruka smiles and walks over to me. I scramble to get up and she gives me a tight hug. That's all I'll say. I believe Hikaru knows the rest. Thank you so much. I can never repay either of you. But I promise, from now on, I'll watch over both of you. I did it because he deserved it. That's all. And thank you. But that sounds like a lot of work trying to watch two people at a time. Haruka giggles again. I don't think it'll be as much effort as you think. Haruka waves. Farewell. We'll speak again soon. With that, Haruka disappears in the blink of an eye. I'm left standing, stunned and overwhelmed at everything she just said. Hikaru comes to stand next to me then, nearly giving me a heart attack with the intense look in his eyes. Kate, we need to talk. Yeah, probably. Oh, okay. My heart pounding nervously, I forced my weary self back down to the floor. The battle with Sunika and all this stress, I think it's finally hitting me. On top of it, I don't even know how to act with Hikaru after all this. I stare at his aqua eyes across the table and give a little smile. Back where we left off, huh? Hikaru sighs and scratches his head. Yeah, I guess we are, thanks to you. So about that. Just how much do you know, or remember, of everything? That's what I wanted to talk to you about, actually. I remember everything. You remember... Wait, what? How? You heard what Mother said. You were carrying a piece of my soul within yours. So it was like I was with you the whole time. The shards the other Hikarus held, and the one you held. I remember everything that happened during those times. It's all kind of jumbled right now, but I think I got it. Everything? Oh my god. As I try to process all this, Hikaru leans over and grabs my hand. I stare down at his hand in shock, as if it were some strange alien. He pulls on it a little and I'm tugged closer to him. Hikaru takes advantage of this to whisper in my ear. I'm sorry. I know I haven't been good to you. My face is probably tomato red as I try to stammer out a reply, but Hikaru leans over to give me a kiss on the cheek. I hope that we can start over and make new memories together. Thank you for saving me. He leans back and gives me the cutest smile. Oh my god, sudden heart attack. That's not fair. How can I say no to that? I give his hand a squeeze, unable to express the depth of everything I'm feeling. I nod. I like that. But first, you should get some rest. If you don't mind, you can sleep in my room. I'll even leave the house. Oh, no, you don't have to do that. No. I mean, I spent a long time trying to save you. You kinda owe me some bedroom time, I'm just saying. And I've gone through a lot of crazy things lately. I'd prefer it if you stayed here. I feel safer. Yeah, safer. But I don't think I'll make it home in this state anyway, so I'll sleep here. The thought of sleeping in Hikaru's bed makes me feel incredibly embarrassed. But then I remember that I essentially did that 500 years ago anyway. In the end, Hikaru shows me to his room and I climb in the bed, clothes and all. He stands in the doorway, watching me with a peaceful look in his eyes that I've never really seen before. I'll stand here till you go to sleep? No, that's weird. Don't do that. Actually, could you just sit on the bed? Please don't do that. That's kind of weird. That'd make me feel kind of awkward if you just stood there. Sure. Is the lady killer really blushing? I don't have much time to think anything else because the moment Hikaru sits down near me, he grabs my hand. It all feels so warm and comfortable and safe that I instantly fall asleep, completely and utterly at peace for the first time in my life. Oh, the final chapter. Okay. It's the day after Hikaru and I returned to our own timeline. After everything was said and done, it felt like we had been together for ages. Maybe it's because for a short time our souls were together, but even though I didn't admit it, I didn't want to be apart from Hikaru just yet. And it didn't seem like he wanted to part with me either. So after I slept for nearly an entire day and woke up this evening, Hikaru said he'd take me to a small cafe in Chuwa. He told me that he likes to frequent it any time he needs a late breakfast or early dinner. We stopped by my place so I could finally change out of that damn kimono and came here. As I took my seat, I had to look around, taking in the atmosphere of the place. It's very quaint and cozy. I'm almost surprised Hikaru comes to a place like this. Unlike Galen or Shizaki's, it's Shizaki. I haven't really had time to process everything. Or anything. And it's confusing to me just to think that Shizaki is alive here, but possibly dead in some other timeline. I have to ask Galen how to fix everything I did. I don't think you do. Even thinking about it makes me weary, though. Are you okay, Kate? Kate. I haven't gotten used to him calling me that. Yeah, it's just none of this shit actually feels real. You went through a lot in a short period of time. And being in other realms is disorienting for humans, especially ones outside of time. Yeah, I hope it sinks in soon. I realize how exhausted I am as I begin to eat. Everything since Sunika popped up has been so emotionally draining that I feel down about, well, everything. And this feels like such a shallow thing to worry about after all this happened, but I do wonder just what Hikaru and I are exactly. Are we still just teacher and student? Are we friends? Or... I look at Hikaru, who seems to currently be too preoccupied with his meal to notice me. I fight back the urge to sigh. There's still a lot I don't know about him. Like, about his family. And what happened in between the time he woke up from being sealed and now. I know there's a time in the future to learn, but I'm curious. I want to know while I can. Especially if he goes back to treating me like he did before. I'm scared that I'll wake up and this will all have been a dream. That I'll just be back in that place. Hikaru? Hikaru looks up from his food mid-bite. I can't help but smile at how unexpectedly childish he looks. It's okay to call you that, right? I told you once before it was. That still holds true. Oh, okay. Thanks. I was wondering, well, hoping, that you could tell me more about yourself. Hikaru puts down the fork. I'm not that interesting, but... What? You're not that interesting? You're a demigod. What do you want to know? I want to know about your school days at Hagiwara. What was it like starting life in this time period? My school days. Well, Galen helped me get into Hagiwara. Imagine how it felt learning that Lady Shizuka was the patron of the school. I got a job on campus and began studying to be a professor. I didn't know what else to do, but I enjoyed learning about history I had missed. I felt guilty because of it. I wasn't around to help those people. So I thought the least I could do was learn what had happened while I slept. Then I could pass down the knowledge of those mistakes to a new generation. I also wanted to help people, plus the pay as a magic professor is pretty high. Hikaru laughs. So it was natural for me to dual major and study that as well. I worked hard on adjusting to the dialect difference in technology here. Though it was always a struggle for me, I think I got the hang of it. Other than that, I was pretty popular around campus, I guess. Any divine being's aura immediately attracts other living creatures. Even if you're introverted like me, you're going to be noticed. Sounds like a curse for an introvert, yeah. No kidding. And my looks attracted a lot of attention too. It's normal for demigods. They tend to be considered very attractive amongst humans. Oh no, poor you. But on a large scale like a university campus, that was a new experience. I didn't probably always handle it well. And what about your love life? Do you really want to know about that? You might not like the answers. Really? You're gonna make me choose. Yeah. Yes. Alright, well you asked. It's not in my nature to hold anything back. It's been extremely varied. Back in the past, no. I never dated anyone. I got close to a few girls, but the only one I had ever been serious about was Lady Shizuka. But here, I dated a lot, trying to feel the loneliness I had from being thrown into a new age. I wouldn't really say there was much love in it, though. Not usually. Hookups, flings, whatever you want to call it. Depending on my mood, that was something I did as a distraction. Sometimes I'd get disgusted with it all, though. Disgusted how easily girls would fall into my lap. I knew the only reason they wanted me was because of that divine attraction and my looks. Precious few people ever want to take the time to get to know me. So I had a lot of physical relationships that ended up being meaningless, and a few emotional ones that ended up good life experiences, at least. My last ex was Luce Sapienti. The healing teacher? Yes, we're just good friends now. She wanted to take things a lot faster than I did. She was ready to settle down, and I wasn't. Commitment has never been my strong point. I think maybe that's just because I never found the right one. Anyway, I wanted to kind of apologize for all the crap you've been through for me. But I realized that's probably a massive task that will take a long time. So, maybe I could start tonight? Oh, ayo? Yeah. Tonight? You know that I did save you because I wanted to. You don't need to feel obligated, but by all means. I just can't help but feel that way. This is who I am. Do you want to go home instead? I turn it over in my mind. Being alone, after all the scary stuff I've been through, with gods that can pop up anywhere at any time? No, I'm good. I don't mind doing whatever with you. I mean, going wherever. Over on the bed. The couch. What? I'm sure you're still tired, though. No, not at all. So I was thinking just relaxing together? Sure. Yeah, Netflix and chill. Let's go. Relaxing together. Yeah, sure. Sounds good. Relaxing together? I didn't think we'd so soon. Wait, no. Why am I assuming? What am I assuming? Oh, you know. Mm-hmm. He could mean anything by that. There's no need to jump to conclusions, Kate. God. This is probably a bad time to realize that I don't even know what Hagiwara's policies are on student-teacher relationships. Looking at Hikaru, I can't bring myself to ask him either. It's a little too late for that, I think. We quickly finish up eating and leave the cafe together. So this is what you meant by relaxing? Hikaru and I have been taking a stroll around the park. He finishes buying 2 cans of green tea out of the vending machine and hands me one. Yeah, I like taking walks in the evening. Nothing can beat an evening stroll and tea. Did you have something else in mind? Hey, no. No, not really. I just wasn't sure what you meant. Hikaru leans out over the railing looking at the lake. He looks so picturesque against the setting sun that I have to fight with myself not to pull out my phone and take a picture. Hikaru looks back at me, and I look away. A gentle breeze tousles my hair, and I move a strand out of my face, tucking it behind my ear. I thought you'd look nice like that. Huh? With the wind in your hair. Did you just... And the colors of the sky against your skin. You're really pretty. Hikaru quickly looks away, and I'm not sure if I caught a hint of red on his cheeks, or if it's just my imagination. Thanks. He laughs. Normally I'm smoother than this, but I can't seem to get my words to come out right now. I'd come to stand beside Hikaru at the railing, looking out over the lake too. You don't need to be smooth with me. Just be yourself. Myself isn't that cool. Hikaru gives a self-depreciating laugh. I suddenly want to be cool, but it's not working. Does that mean that you like me? A silence passes between us. Maybe it does. 1,000 hopeful feelings bubble up in me, but I squash them down as they come. Is that even okay? If you mean it, like I think you do? I mean, 'cause I'm a student? Hikaru shrugs. Dunno. I never asked before. It was my personal policy not to get involved with students. I'm sure it doesn't look good, but Hikaru leans over towards me and puts an arm around me, drawing me close. Being against his muscular body and feeling his body heat through his thin shirt makes my cheeks heat up. If you're okay with it, I don't care. If there's something I want, I'll find a way to get it. Or someone. Okay with it? Assuming I'm that someone you want, then yeah. I'm really happy and grateful. You are that someone, and it's me who's eternally grateful to you. Ah. The two of us fall silent, watching the shimmering water with Hikaru's arm around me. The birds chirp to herald the coming of night, and my tensions melt away. For the first time in a long, long time, I feel safe and relaxed. Protected in Hikaru's embrace, I want this feeling to go on forever. I know that whatever troubles the future holds, it's worth it if I can have this feeling. The end. We did it!